Alright, so we're back to Slay the Spire 2. Now, I didn't end up playing this as much as I thought I was going to. At least not, like, as fervently as I had expected to. I still have done a few runs since we were all together here. Just, like I said, not as much as I expected. Like, I had honestly anticipated this to be the game I spend, like, all of my off-stream time with, and that didn't quite happen. And I want to amend a statement I made early on in the first session we did of this, in which I had claimed that this felt easier than the first game. I actually want to reverse that, because my first couple runs were incredibly lucky, so it felt easier. Based on my experience having played a fair bit more, I think this is harder than the first game, actually. And not always in the best ways. Because there's a couple fights in this game that are just kinda to me. And I'll go into more detail about that if we run into those fights. But as I said on social media, there's gonna be a lot of ranting today. And it won't have anything to do with the game particularly. So I'm gonna warn y'all now, so that anybody watching the VOD or anything knows that you're gonna be in for that today. There's gonna be a lot of Old man Drac yells at clouds today, because of things I've seen recently and just my general mental state lately. And I don't know if everybody's going to be into that or not. So I'm putting a disclaimer here at the beginning of the video, so that if you're not into that idea, you can just skip this one. There's still going to be plenty of gameplay happening, because as I mentioned in the post as well, I'm not really a just chatting kind of dragon here. So I do my just chatting while doing something else. Which means I just don't do just chatting, but you get the point. Now, back to game concepts for a second here. I did get a win with the Silent now, so we do have access to Ascension with the Silent. But so far, it's just been defects in Silent that I managed to succeed with. I don't know why I haven't managed to... Well, one of the fights I was talking about is part of why Ironclad is stuck. But we'll get to that if it shows up. As far as the Silent goes, I honestly wish that the run I did just this morning, that was the winning run, was a bit longer, because I had such a ridiculous good setup going. It was so much fun to mess around with. But the game ended, so I don't have it anymore. But I'm going to be focusing on those who I have not gotten any Ascension access with, so we can actually have everybody able to go to at least Ascension 1. But not necessarily inherently before I do multiplayer, but before I actively seek it. Because I don't know what people are going to want to do, and I would rather have access to that to expand the options, especially since I have to assume multiplayer will make this easier, so having Ascensions available would make it more interesting. So, part of me wonders about Ascension 1 specifically. I almost feel like Ascension 1 might actually, if you're able to deal with elites, make it easier overall than Ascension 0, because you get so many more elite rewards due to more elites spawning. This is a discussion that had come up with the first game before as well, whether having more elites and such was actually a positive or a negative. Because this happens in a bunch of roguelites where certain difficulty settings actually make the game easier rather than harder like they're necessarily intended to because of the improved rewards. Which, that's an interesting dynamic to consider. I think we'll do a Necrobinder run first and see if I can make anything happen. Because I had a pretty good Necrobinder run going the other day. That just got botched by genuinely me just doing a bad misplay. Because for those that don't know, if a combat's going badly, you can save and quit and reset the combat. I personally do not do that. So that is part of why I'm having a harder time than some people might, because I'm betting there are people that are still doing the save and exit, it reset. Nothing wrong with it. Interact with the game how you wish to. It's just not something I do because I would rather just roll it all again. Now, before I get this run going too hard, though, I want to talk about my first topic and at least get the ball rolling on that topic. Is it's specific to something I saw an hour or two ago on Mayoshi. And I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to mention who said at what or who was responsible for them making that post in the first place, the latter of which I don't actually know. But it's generally on the topic of people receiving gift art, or fan art in general, really, because it applies to both, and the recipient being ungrateful. In this particular case, they had made art for someone and got no response at all other than a like. Now, that's not the worst situation. The point I wanted to bring up because of that is if somebody takes the time out of their day to make you something, no matter what it is, no matter how detailed, no matter how good it is, personally, the bottom line there is just be grateful. Like, even if you don't say more than just a simple thank you, to my mind, that's the bare minimum. You should at least say thank you when somebody makes you something. Like, somebody could glue a fucking piece of macaroni to a piece of cardboard and give it to you, and I would figure you should at least, like, be happy that they made you something. That's an excessive example, because at that particular point, you know, maybe not be that grateful for that specifically, but that should hopefully make the point I'm trying to make. Of, it doesn't have to be anything particularly good. Somebody thought of you enough to make something. That, to my mind, is a big deal. Now, there's two sides of the coin, to my mind, for that. And it's a thought favoring the person making the thing, and a thought excusing partially the people that don't have much of a reaction. I can think of two reasons that I personally would consider acceptable for not having much of a response. And one of them just means your response would be delayed, and that is you're overwhelmed. You're, like, overloaded either just because you've been going through so much and this happened to show up at the right time where you just are overcome with emotion. That's understandable. Then you just presumably would come back and respond later, assuming you don't forget. People forget things. That happens. And then there's the person who's just constantly overloaded, where there's just shit happening everywhere, be it that they're a big creator, so they get tons of notifications all the time, etc., or they just have a very busy life. I get it, but even in that scenario, you would think they would take the time to at least type 2 words. That's just my stance on that situation. I'm not asking anybody to change how they do things or be a different person. Just throwing that out there as like a, hey, worth considering situation. Is you have to remember how the person that made you the thing will respond to the situation as well. Is if they get ignored, And this is something I've been through personally, and this is why this hit enough for me to sit down and talk about it for a little bit. If all they get is just a like, or even just nothing at all, a lot of us are prone to overthinking about that, where they will be like, oh, they hated it, or I guess I shouldn't make things for this person, or make things at all is a degree that some people will go to with that too. The smallest things can have a very profound impact in the positive or the negative. So it's very important to take the time to do the small thing. Like, genuinely, even if you just, like, make a notepad with the words thank you on it and just copy paste it in situations like that, that still will have a profound impact on the person receiving the thank you for the thing they did. And I'm not saying you should write anything eloquent or profound or anything, literally just 2 words. Because, trust me, I get it. You get overloaded, your social battery's dead, this happens to show up right at the worst time for you to be able to formulate a good response. So, I've done this before too, where I don't respond to something immediately because I'm not ready to respond to it at that moment, and then I forget to respond to it. That's understandable. That's when you come back, that's when you hopefully come back to it later and actually make a response regardless. It unfortunately gives the person that sent it in the first place time to have overthought themselves into a hole, but at least you mend that later. Now, there is one world I personally view is fine not to give the gifter a response, and that is if you can tell with very fair certainty that it was not made as a kindness to you, but as an advertisement for themselves. Is that can happen. There are people that will make fan art purely as an advertising tool, and it's obvious that they're doing it. That's where I think it's fair to ignore. Oh, even in those cases, I would say still say thank you, just so you don't end up looking bad in that situation. But I'm just saying that this is the... I want to make sure I point out both sides, is the main reason I bring that one up. Now, the catch to that world is, of course, there are situations where you'll be wrong about that. And that's the other reason why I say you should probably still say thank you anyway. That's just a situation I wanted to talk about quickly before I got too focused on what I'm doing and end up not actually getting the full thought out there. There's a lot more I want to talk about, but that one's one I wanted to make sure I get the full coherent thought out reasonably quickly and succinctly. So we got the Planisphere, which gives us health when we enter event rooms, and we got the Stonecracker. At the start of boss combats, get 3 random upgraded cards in the draw pile for that combat. Not really exciting, but the healing will be big, considering I go to a lot of event spaces and I tend to get my shit pushed in. Because I am very lazy about my play still. And probably will always be. And we will talk about the other topics as we go. I'm not gonna, like, pour out the whole line of thought in one go here. Especially since there's gonna be varying amounts of people in at any given time, and varying amounts of attention. So I'll just kind of sprinkle these things in along the way. Now, another thing I want to note about Slay the Spire 2 is the unlocked cards definitely make a very big difference. I've noticed a lot of very good setups coming from cards I've picked up. I don't have like specific examples right off the top of my head to give y'all about that, but I have definitely seen a difference once I unlocked a few more cards for specific characters. I'm gonna retain that defend, because we have no need for it this turn. That turn felt useless, but we got through it anyway. Yeah, Capture Spirit, I want to say, is one that I ended up picking up from an unlock. And I do think I want it. It's interesting that its enemy loses 3 HP. That means that's guaranteed damage, I would assume. And it also probably bypasses block. So that's actually going to be very handy against certain enemies. It also means it's unmodifiable, though, so you can't do more damage with it. But souls are useful, considering their card draw. Osti's gonna die here, but that's okay. Osti just gets right back up. Buff you up, little buddy. Get some card cycling to happen here. This is a hand I'm happy enough with, so we won't keep cycling any harder. Because there was nothing else in the deck that would have made a difference in that turn. So I saw no reason to keep fishing. This is one I believe I ended up unlocking, because I haven't seen it before. When attacks deal damage, they also apply that much doom. And I definitely am interested in that idea. Getting that card out is going to be tricky, though, since it's 3 E energy. So that's basically a turn going into that. Get a bunch of money and lose some health, or we can get the Sword of Stone, which after 5 elites becomes something better. I'll be honest, I don't really get 5 elite fights and survive that often, so I'm actually going to take the hit and take the money this time. You plunge deep into the water. While collecting the offerings, you hear a dull echo and you're struck by stones. Once you surface, you see that the old statue has crumbled due to your disturbance, physical and spiritual. So that didn't go ideally. We're only missing 7 health, so I'll go ahead and smith here. Okay, Reperform gets retained when I upgrade it. Yeah, that'll work. Because that'll mean when I have a turn where I don't have anything to do, I use Reperform. Ooh, the effects of your cost X cards are increased by 2. We don't currently have any, but there are a couple very good cost X cards that the Necrobinder can get in the form of the... Oh, what is that one? Eradicate, I think it is? Something along those lines. Pay X, deal 11 damage per energy spent. So if you just are adding 2 by default to that, that's already just 22 damage for free. There's also one that generates X amount of souls as well. So I think I'm going to grab the Chemical X, even though it's not useful right this second. It has the potential to be very good if we can actually get either of those cards. And I got them pretty commonly before. So I would assume that we're likely to see that show up. Yeah, we'll take the upgraded bodyguard. Because one of the issues I kept running into with the Necrobinder is Osti just not being able to survive to build up to be useful. You'd end up just in a loop where Osti just keeps dying. No, we don't need to use anything right now. So we block one, buff Osti, and then attack somebody. This is the time for the skill potion. Ugh. We will take the Grave Warden, because we need the block. I could have went for the Dexterity Potion as well, but I didn't want to burn 2 potions right now. As it stands, we're still losing out in this situation. And I could have just knocked the Tracker Raider out, for example. Which, that's a miscalculation on my part. But if I had taken them out, that takes 8 damage off the board. We'd still be dealing with the 19 over here. But with less block. But I think all things being equal, I think we are taking more damage than if I had made the other choice. All in all, it's fine. But it's just one of those things where you realize in hindsight, like, oh yeah, this was a mistake. You out, and I think we double defend because we already have reduced block. Just so we take a little bit less harm there. They're both attacking, so we're not really going to be able to fit Reaper form in. That's 19 again. If I block 3 times, we still take damage. So I'm going to accept a little bit more damage just so we can get some damage in. I could have used the Dexterity Potion yet again, but... again, I'm trying to bank that for the future, where things are going to be worse. At least that's the theory I'm operating under right now. That was almost a turn where I could have used Reaper form. Almost. Sure stuff. Nope. Same results. So let's see. Asti has 9 health. If I block twice, that's still me taking damage. We're being outscaled right now. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna have to accept the fact I'm gonna have to burn that potion. Even with the potion, if I block twice, I remove all of the damage. If I don't block twice, I'm obviously still taking damage and Asti's getting knocked out again. So I'm just gonna burn the turn in the hopes that their turn this time isn't as annoying. Because we kill him and then start working on that one. That's the results I was hoping for. Was getting an Unleash turn where I can do actual damage. Problem with Severance is it costs 2. Same issue Deathbringer has, really. So I think I'm going to take Grave Blast because it can get me back something I might need more at the time, so it'll still work. That'll help a lot, actually. Every 5 cards in your deck heal 3 when entering a rest site. Considering I tend not to trim the deck, that means a lot of healing. Like, if we go here now, you'll notice we gained 9 health. So, that helps make up for times where I'm not gonna want to actually rest. So we can upgrade more cards. Obviously, that time I rested because it was a better idea. Summon boost, kill that. And then Asti will take all the damage for us, so it works out perfectly. The Reaper form's really only going to come in useful in longer fights. And this has the potential to be a longer fight, but I'd rather it not be a longer fight. So we take you out, guaranteed, because that reduces the damage coming in. The rest of this turn is the problem, though. Because that is 19 damage coming in. No matter what I do, we're not stopping all of it. Which means Asti's gonna pop here. Again. If I Grave Blast, I can Bodyguard up again. Which gives him 12 health, but that's not enough. That just means a bigger Asti hits the floor. He would need to have had full health. Basically, the bottom line is I would need to have more energy than I do to do anything noteworthy with this turn. So the only play really is to hurt an enemy here. And I think I'm actually gonna use Capture Spirit, even though it'll do less damage, in the hopes that I can cycle because of that. We will mitigate some of the damage, though, just so we don't end up back where we started health-wise. Yeah, see, this is exactly why I wanted to be able to cycle. Is a piece of drawing nothing but defense cards while they're not attacking. I do want to retain one of those defends, though, for later. This way we actually get some headway. Otherwise, we would have had just like a completely irrelevant turn, and it would have been so sad. Brave Blast, get Unleash back. Unleash does enough damage to allow me to kill. There we go. Shared Fate's an interesting idea. If you're relying on, like, Osti attacking or Doom, Shared Fate probably works. With our current setup, Shared Fate would be a disaster. Scourge, though, since it's card draw, I'm interested in taking for the moment. We've got decent health, so I'm going to risk going Elite Word over here. Especially since we should be able to buy something at that shop after the Elite as well. This deck is just not great right now. It's very upsetting how not great this is. That was more for the Doom than the card draw this time around. What I should have done was put the Doom on the one that I've been actively hitting. But I was anticipating doing a better job of getting rid of this one by this point. But I keep mistaking this for a deck that does damage, and let me tell you. Right now, this ain't a deck that does damage. There we go, now he's set up to just die. I don't need to worry about him anymore. Because he's gonna buff, and then die to Doom. So he's irrelevant. We're taking damage either way here, so just give the good hit while I can. See, they get obliterated. Block 2, hit 1, wait. Buff up Osti and just smack away. Just kill him. I could have doomed him, but dooming him just meant he was gonna hit me before he died, and there was no point in letting him hit me. We'll go ahead and take Poke because it's a free attack. We did lose a bunch of health, but I'm gonna risk the Elite anyway, which is probably a horrendous idea, considering it's the fucking Parasite again. When I did my first run, this fight wasn't bad, and ever since then, this fight has been atrocious to deal with. Because I always get screwed by the infestation cards coming up at the worst time, and it's just so over because of it. It is so incredibly annoying. Since he's just gonna put more infestation in my hand, I'm actually gonna go Reaper mode. This might not make sense in the immediate if you haven't seen this fight, but understand it's for the latter half of this fight. We're just gonna block this turn because we're about to take another 16, and I have the stupid 6 damage from the infestations in my hand. This is the problem. You end up just like drawing constant infestation cards, and most setups don't have a way of getting rid of them. So you're just taking free damage constantly. There we go, he'll get doomed. I'm gonna end up with more fucking infection cards. But this is why I wanted Reaper mode, is for dealing with the regulars. Because now I can expedite getting rid of them a fair amount. And notice the infection is hitting us because it's not an attack. It doesn't go to Asti, it goes to us directly. Which is just awful. We're gonna have to just kill you, unfortunately. And I have no blocks. Great. That's what I always love to see. Because it wouldn't have been enough to doom that one in the back. Remember when I said this was a risk? Yeah, this is proving why this was a risk immediately. Doom you, so you at least die. I swear it knows what's bad for me and just gives me that specifically. We're dead right now. Just in case anybody's wondering. I am dead and there's nothing I can do about it. The worst part is, we've won the fight, but we lost the fight at the same time. They'll both die to Doom, but I'll die to these stupid infection cards. There's just no... I have no counterplay to that in that deck. You need, like, a discard engine of some kind to deal with those infections, or you kill the parasite as fast as you can. Those are your two plays against that thing. Otherwise, it just floods your deck with self-damage that you can just do nothing for. Take the money because those other options just don't do anything for me. I'm sure there's people that understand plays for those other options too, just it's not options I do anything with. And it's entirely possible that this is just not a setup that meshes with me, the whole Necrobinder thing in general. Because I've so far found like one setup within this character's setups that I particularly worked well with, and I just haven't gotten that setup again. Oh god, not the kin. Great. You off the map, block so we don't take extra damage, and Asti stays in play. Like, I wonder if it's just a matter of I'm too aggro for this, and it's more like a slow play type, which I could see that being true. Considering, you know, it's a lot of either building up Asti, setting up Doom, or the third option, which is setting up for some of your more direct attack abilities that you have that we didn't see in the previous run. Delay I do like. Okay, let me see if I can buy... There we go. Yeah, Eradicate. I did have the right word. This is the one I was talking about, where if we had Chemical X with this, it would be 22 for free, and it would be beautiful. Poke is free damage, so I'll take it, and it doesn't cost us much. The start of each combat, procure a potion-shaped rock, so I just do 15 damage for free from one of my potion slots. On pick up brew 5 random potions. We don't have 5 slots, so that's not that good to grab right now. Gremlin Horn is very tempting, because Gremlin Horn is very good. The alternative being grabbing Borrowed Time and Eradicate. And Eradicate's just so good, because you can just retain it for when you need it. Thrumming Hatchet does seem like something I would like too, though. deal 11 damage for 1, and on your next turn, just put it back in your hand. Not with Necrobinder, though, I think, because we're already having trouble keeping enough energy to do everything I want to do. So I think the Gremlin Horn is the choice, because that generates energy. Basically, that solves, like, the main problem we're having. Just gonna take 12 damage because my deck decided not to give me any defense. Go ahead and hit delay so I at least have 4 energy next turn. Go ahead and wallop you on out of here. Cure All is very good. 1 energy and 2 cards. Very, very helpful. We'll take Negative Pulse because we do need some block. Other than just the block cards we have. Room full of cheese. This room is full of cheese. You look around to see if there's any traps, and above you is more cheese. The candles in this room appear to be made of cheese. The furniture is also cheese. Suddenly, the door behind you slams shut. It is made of cheese. Huh. So we can either gorge and just eat all the cheese we could ever desire and more, and get 2 out of 8 random common cards, or we can sift through the cheese, losing health, and gain the chosen cheese. At the end of combat, gain 1 max health. That is exciting. 1 max health after every combat could actually be huge, because you just keep stacking health that way. And with the Necrobinder starting with lower health than everybody else, I think this is the least amount of starting health, because I think the defect starts with 70? I don't remember off the top of my head. It's either lowest starting health or second lowest. Either way, 66 is not a great start. But yeah, this would compensate for our biggest issue, but 2 out of 8 random common cards would also help fill our deck out a bit better and avoid us needing as much max health. So I'm going to risk the cards. Let's see. These were not as exciting as I had hoped, but I do see things I want. We'll take Reeve and Drain Power. You take a little nibble of cheese, but this fuels you to eat even more cheese. Time passes, you've eaten an awe-inspiring amount of cheese. Tonight, dreams will be cheese. It's impressive, considering we are a skeleton, having eaten so much cheese. We could do an early elite fight right after a rest point. This is probably a terrible idea, but I'm also not going to get my 11 health back. I would rather upgrade a card to reduce the odds of us having trouble. Soul Plus is 3 cards. Okay. I wish this would get more block with the upgrade. Like, it gets 1 whole more block. 11 Doom is nice, but 6 block just ain't it right now. I could upgrade 3 random cards in my discard pile, but it already upgrades 2, and 2 is pretty useful, considering we don't have a lot of cards yet. I think we upgrade the Grave Warden for the Soul Plus, so we get 3 cards off of that. This is what I was expecting. This is why I was worried about not doing what I should have done, which was resting instead of upgrading. Okay, right now we are not blocking enough. Now we are blocking enough so Asti also lives. Just go for him. He's not attacking, so just hit him with everything we've got. He's indirectly attacking. But the hope is that we hold on to enough health where we can handle the infections. Thanks, game. Thanks for that. Fucking hate it here. I'm gonna have to use the Cure-All. Because I needed to get things that weren't going to be just I take more damage. There we go. Stop his attack, so at least we're only taking the infection damage now. Which is a slight improvement, but still not ideal. Because that is 3, 6, 9, 12 damage that there's just fucking nothing I can do about. Like, it at least can be blocked, as you saw there, but Asti doesn't interact with that damage. He'll interact with their attack damage, but I'd rather he live. So that 10 block will take care of both those problems. The problem with Unleashed being our best damage-dealing card is if Asti doesn't have health, then Unleash is useless. Now, let's hit delay here. It's gonna be bad regardless, but this at least means Asti survives and we don't take infection damage there. One issue I'm causing for myself is the fact that I do so much cycling, because that's what the infection is basically built to punish, is a lot of cycling. There we go, they'll both die to Doom now. And we'll just block as much as we can because I have nothing else to do. Okay, much cleaner than the previous encounter was. And we get the White Beast statue, which gives us guaranteed potions after combats. I used to not care about the potions at all in these games. I have come around on potions quite a bit in this one. In part because there's more interesting potions in this one. Used to be, in my mind, that you had to play modded to get interesting potions, because a lot of the potions in Spire 1 were just kind of in my mind. A lot of the potions in this are still kind of meh, but there's some interesting ones in there. Necromastery is something I didn't have before, or at least never came up before, and I'm taking that. Not only does it give Asti 5 health, but whenever Asti loses health, it deals that damage to everything. So that will be huge. Like, that is a game changer of a card right there, in my mind. Because that basically makes Asti very productive. There's not a point to bodyguarding up here. You twice to kill you instead. Oh, why did you give me Necromastery now? If I play that, I'm just gonna eat shit. Because I have to remember that I also have that Constrict on me. Nah, it's not worth it. Instead, we bodyguard up and defend now. Because that'll take all the damage except the Constrict damage off. It still means that it doesn't amount to much having given him the health. But it meant that the damage we took was basically nullified, other than the Constrict. Won't be able to kill this turn. So I need to make sure to at least deflect the Constrict damage. I love pulling Necromastery every time he's attacking me. But it's not as bad this time, so we're gonna go ahead and go for it. Because we can at least do harm to our enemy that way. Remember to always block during this fight because of the Constrict. If you don't block, you just lose. There we go. Power Potion's good to see. We'll take Wisp here because extra energy is good. Okay, oddly smooth stone. I can live with that. One extra block on everything I block with can actually be a very big benefit. How bold and stupid am I feeling? Not bold and stupid enough to go for that elite. I thought about it. but I'm just not comfortable enough with what we've got set up here right now to go for that move. The power potion and the strength boost could be exactly what we need to make that work, but the problem is it's a could be, not a yes it will be. The extra energy so we can use delay and necromastery. Perfect. We've got a very good baseline setup here now. We actually don't want to perfectly defend anymore, because it would be better to let them actually hit somewhat. So with this hand, I basically may as well block the majority of it. Boost Asti up some more, hit you, and now after he attacks, he loses. Goodbye. See, this is what I needed, was something to accomplish more passively. Is trying to accomplish more things actively kept backfiring. Necromastery was just quite literally exactly what we needed. I'm gonna go ahead and just set you on fire so I can hit you with Defile and get you out of here. And since we're guaranteed potions, all I did basically was open up a space for a new potion to appear. Necromastery. The first chance I get to upgrade a card, I'll probably upgrade Necromastery in the hope that it ends up getting cheaper to use. It getting Retain would also be okay, but that's not what I would prefer. Stable Serum's not really something I use too much, but take it for now. We do have just 2 regular fights between us and the next camp. So I tell you what, I'm actually gonna at least look at this. No, it only goes up to summon 8. It doesn't get cheaper. Cheaper is what I really needed this to have. Summon 8 is good. We're just having an energy efficiency problem still. Despite the fact that a lot of what we have is cheap. It just doesn't quite land. Because we have more cards than we have energy. That said, with that ending up upgrading that way, I am going to go ahead and take the rest here. I'd rather have the health. Work on killing that Shrinker Beetle as fast as we can. So it's going to get to attack. Saving that power potion for the boss fight. If I was going to use the strength potion, I should have just used it. But I'll go ahead and drink the stable serum. I'm absolutely wasting it, but it's because that's just not a potion I actually use particularly. It can be a very useful one. It's just not one that I tend to use to any serious effect myself. Mostly because of exactly what I was talking about before, about the not being able to use everything that I already have. Okay, Asti is going to do grievous harm to my enemies, so I'll just block. Because that just makes the other enemy that was there before or self-destruct, so it works out. Just short of killing him, but it'll be fine. Literally anything I hit him with from here destroys him. Oop. 20 damage from that, that'll be handy. Enfeebling Touch... these strength draining moves can be so good, but I've also had so many times where they show up exactly when they're completely useless to me, and then just never show up when I need them, because they are only good for that specific turn. So if your opponent isn't attacking the turn you draw it, it's useless. Like, this is essentially the same thing as a blocking card. And I would rather have the blocking card, as the blocking card can stop other things like passive damage and things like that. So I don't understand these. Like, I see the use of it since it has the ethereal tag for when you have the cards that work with ethereal cards, which this is the most ethereal anything I've seen in a run. So I might actually take the ethereal powers this time and actually use them. Which I have to imagine that one enemy that makes all of your cards ethereal must actually be the funniest thing to fight with the Necrobinder. Is you suddenly have your whole deck turn into something that powers your engine if you've got that set up. And I only just now had that click in my brain. I'm like, wait, that would actually be beneficial depending on when the effect timing works out there. Because it depends on if it actually triggers before the power would interact with it or not. I'd rather have the free skill card than the 2 strength. Though arguably the 2 strength is probably better than the 20 damage. But the 20 damage for the kin fight I think will be more useful. And speaking of, I'm going to want to be at full health for this since they get aggro right off the top. So let's just chuck a fire potion on your face. Get the power right off the bat. We don't want Necro Surge because we're going to be doing this fight for too long. We don't have a lot of 2-drop spells. So I'm thinking Haunt because I do play a lot of souls. So that's just free damage every time I use a soul for cycling. We do have enough energy usage to use this Wisp, so we're going to use it. And we've blocked all the damage coming in. Perfect. We'll save the skill card for when we are in a worse position, since the skill card could easily end up just being like a block. Okay, that's the one follower gone. We are going to take damage here. Yeah, let's go for it. See if the skill card gives me what I need. It does, but it doesn't. I have a choice to make here. I can either invoke and just accept the damage, or I can take negative pulse. But that's only 4 block. I also forgot that Scourge is a skill. Since it's primarily technically dealing damage, I keep thinking of it as an attack, especially with the art it has. Yeah, I'm gonna take the invoke. We still take 2 less damage, but we also get 2 more energy next turn. It's only slightly less blocking than the other one would have done. The 7 Doom might end up having made a difference, though. With 5 energy, though, I'm pretty happy because I'm actually able to use this whole hand. We're getting plenty of souls set up in order to actually make that power we grabbed useful. There's Necromastery as well. There we go, he's doomed. And Ostiel survived the 7 damage from him. We'll go ahead and hit Borrowed Time here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Get the damage clock moving. I think this is the first time I've managed to get rid of both the followers without just getting ruined. And I'm kind of surprised they're not just summoning more. That is, as I said before when I was doing this fight, that's genuinely what I expected, so that's why I rarely was focusing on the followers. Because a lot of minion fights taught me not to do that because the minions would just be resummoned. Or it would just be like a big waste of energy in one way or another. This one's clearly not working that way, though. Even though I'd go down to 0 energy, I could parse to cycle the deck and potentially pull borrowed time to keep doing more moves. But I'm out of souls in there, which is that's what I was checking for, was to see if I had souls still in the pool. If I did, I would have guaranteed used parse. We'll use the upgraded delay. Actually, yeah, we'll just delay and invoke. It's not gonna be ideal, but we'll be able to weather the attack because of that. Because we'll have 19 block between my block and Osti's health. But now we have way more resources to use. Except I didn't get anything to actually make use of the increased energy with. But at least I can use my whole hand. And unfortunately, I have nothing that retains energy from round to round right now. No, like, ice cream or anything. You can tank that hit just fine, but let's not make you tank the whole hit. We're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and borrow time. He'll take less damage from the Necro rebound, but this is fine. Almost to the point where they will die to Doom. I did that in the wrong order, but it's fine. They'll buff and then just fall over. I'm just happy that an Epoch thing didn't pop up over here, because that tells me that isn't the first time I beat that fight. I was actually concerned, because I couldn't remember having beaten that. Let's see, we got Hang, Call of the Void, and Reanimate. Reanimate I remember enjoying, but I think I'm interested in Call of the Void. At the start of your turn, add 1 random card to your hand, it gains Ethereal. I'm assuming it means random card at all, like it'll just create a card. And I'm interested to see how that'll play out. Because we might get something really good. Let's see, Pale, you've got your horn that gives us 2 relaxes, which I'm sure there's a strategy involved with that, because you can get 15 block in exchange for burning your entire turn, unless you have extra energy. But you do get 2 more cards and 2 more energy the following turn. So it's a move. Pale's Tooth, we've used before in the previous session. You take 5 cards out of your deck and get them back after 5 combats randomly, but they're upgraded. Or I could take the Eye, and whenever I end a turn without playing anything, you exhaust your hand and take an extra turn. I never end turns without playing anything, so I don't think I'd ever actually use this. Especially since it exhausts that hand. I would really only want to use that with Ironclad, I feel. Because I think Ironclad's the only one that has things that really interact with exhausted cards too much. I don't remember everybody's setups entirely off the top of my head. I think Pale's Tooth is the best choice we have, though. I just need to remove things that I'm not hard set on. Is if I remove things that I need, I'm in trouble. But I can get rid of a handful of things without it being, like, the end of us. Yeah, that'll work. Because that won't ruin our engine such as it is currently. You know it though, Jay. How's it going? Okay, so we got a thieving hopper here. Don't really need the extract for this, it'll be fine. Just an awful starting hand for trying to do anything to this little bastard, though. Let's see what I get. It doesn't really attack that much, so I'm not going to bother with Necromastery this time. We'll try Call of the Void and hope for the best. And with Defile, because obviously that's good damage. And Unleash. Because the main goal is making sure this thing doesn't get away with the card it's stealing. So is not really a card I needed, but at least it was more damage. Soulstorm. That would have been actually, wait, no, because that puts it in the draw pile. I haven't exhausted enough souls for that to be as good. But it's still decent damage for one, so we'll use it anyway. Knock him out of the air. Borrow some more time. Just keep hitting him. Because he's almost out of here is the problem. And I would rather him be out of here this way. There we go. He is dead now. My delay back. And yeah, see, Dirge is the other one I was talking about as far as the Chemical X went. I'm gonna take Dirge anyway because it is still useful. What's that notification? Check that while the ads run. But I'll read this off first. The Future of Potions? Oh no, we read this one in the past. Welcome in, Odai. And much appreciated that you chose to follow, I assume during the golf stream then. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take the uncommon attack. Hell yeah. I don't remember fetch. Excellent. That day was a prime example of the more extreme side of how everything goes around here. Fetch would be nice, because it would give me card draw for 0 and free damage. Yeah, we'll take it. While the ads run, I'm going to check on a couple things, and then we will get back to business. Okay, that's what that was. Yeah, we'll probably head to the shop, so I'll just go ahead and do that while the ad's running, because nobody's gonna miss too much of me just popping into a shop and staring at the options in here. Nunchucks would be nice, but I don't have enough attacks to consistently activate it right now. Even though the energy generation would be lovely. These are not really artifacts that I particularly need. I might regret a second copy of Invoke, but I just really like Invoke. Actually, wait, did I even have a regular copy of Invoke, or did I have that? No, I had that from the random card. I didn't have that normally. So yeah, I needed that. Do I have much that applies Doom? No, I really only have negative pulse for Doom at the moment, so I wouldn't want Shroud. Shroud would have worked perfectly when we had at Reaper form, though, because we would have then been able to just attack and block constantly without needing to have dedicated block cards. Right hand. Ooh, actually, there's potential with right hand. Do I have much that is 2 cost, though? No, it's really only delay and necromastery that would give me back right hand. And this would have to specifically be in discard pile. I am going to take Fasten because we are kind of relying on block more than I do with most setups. And welcome back from the ads, everybody. You didn't miss much. I've just been taking care of a couple things on the side, and then I went into this shop, basically, and bought 2 things so far. I bought Fasten and Invoke. So, you didn't miss much, like I said. Fish oil is not bad, but I wouldn't spend 78 on it. Let's go ahead and grab Secret Technique as well, because that'll allow me to pull a skill from the deck, which could make or break a turn depending on how it comes up. You're doing 13. I could block for 12 and summon for 5. Yeah, that'll work. Because that'll mean Austie will be buffed up a bit. This guy does do a decent amount of damage. I wish I had 4 energy. If I just had 1 more energy, this wouldn't even be a question. It would be Call of the Void, Necromastery, Invoke, not even thinking about it further. Your watch streak is insane, Natra. Like, I don't know how you've managed to be here literally every stream since you joined. But you've done it. You have done it. You know what? Fair. Tell you what, we're gonna set the powers up, and we're just gonna accept the fact that I'm not getting invoked this turn. Go ahead and hit you with Fetch. Use Secret Technique. Full Borrowed Time. Get more energy. Because I don't have to worry about him hitting, because I can break his block. And then we Dirge. For a really buff hand to punch him with. Oh yeah, they changed that recently, didn't they? Where VODs actually count. Because I could have swore before it didn't. But that may be another case of the information out there on it is never clear, because most things about Twitch are very unclear. Yeah, I assume it's just a matter of it means the streak doesn't break. It doesn't count up an additional number, but it just doesn't break. Friendship. That could be useful. That is still handy, I would say, especially for those who are watching people that have an inconsistent schedule. That makes it a lot more likely that you can keep your streak together. Cleanse isn't really something I need. Such is the way of random cards. Maybe it's just me, but I would absolutely play a mode where your deck is randomized every combat. So you just have to make do with whatever the hell the game decides to give you. In that moment. Just like pure chaos mode. There we go, grab Snap. Yeah, I for one am not sure whether it would allow you to do it twice in a row or not. This is the first I'm hearing any confirmation that it works to begin with. So it's hard to say. Because I remember hearing people talk about it at one point, but I never heard any confirmation. as to whether it works or not. Got full energy, he's attacking for 23. 4 cards in hand. Calculating. This is gonna hurt like a motherfucker if I don't pull something that blocks, at least partially. Yeah, we'll just take delay, invoke, and just accept the fact that this turn's going nowhere. Get Necromastery out there. We have enough. Yeah, we'll just full block that and save using the actual rebound damage for this turn. Or, well, whenever he decides to attack again, I guess. Poke. That. Just buff up Asti a bunch so Necromastery actually works. Follow the Void. With Fetch. Now that there's a decent amount of people in, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and this is more gonna be me thinking out loud with the hope that people might actually have meaningful input, because I cannot guarantee that this is gonna be something anyone's really gonna have input on, but I can hope. Because I've been pondering making changes to the way my commissions are laid out. The problem is, I cannot think of a meaningful way to change it. I only can feel that I need to make changes because there's a specific pattern I've noticed. And that is, people will look at the Ko-fi and nothing happens. Plenty of eyes come in and commissions don't happen. So the only thing that I can assume is that I need to make a change there to make more commissions happen. Obviously, this is not a guarantee by any means, because there are a lot of other factors in play, but that's the only factor I can change. So that's why I'm pondering that. The kicker to that being, I don't know if there's anything I can actually meaningfully influence there. Because for those who don't know, the stream itself and the commissions I do on that Ko-fi are my only means of income currently. So this is why it's a priority to try to leverage that wherever I can. Now, obviously, it needs to be advertised better in general. Is as insistent as I have been on social media about it, there are probably other avenues I should be taking for that. But I feel like making the Ko-fi page itself better would also be very impactful at this point. But as I said, the problem is I don't know how to change it in a way that would help. One of the things I'm thinking about, though, is getting rid of some of the services I have in there because there's been no interest in them. So I suspect having those dead services in there probably isn't helping. And what I can do is kind of roll them into other ones that are already there that are similar enough. But I'm more or less wanting to think this out loud where y'all can hear it, so that I can get input from y'all as to whether these ideas make sense, or if you have any suggestions as to alternatives. And really just anything y'all could think of that would be something you would want as a service in something like that. I would certainly be willing to consider making an option available for that. And not just because it would be a matter of like, oh, I can then get your business. Like, no. This way I get more feedback of what people just out there in general would want. Because half the time when I ask questions like that out on social media, I just get crickets. So, I figure I may as well try other angles. Not quite what I meant, But you're not, you know, you're heading in a good direction, but either there's something I'm missing about what you're intending there, or it's like, you're right, a general animation commission should be there. The main reason I hadn't done that yet was the fact that I wasn't getting any action on the other one. That's kind of the problem I was having. Yeah, I was trying to pull the pieces together there, but I didn't quite complete the line and off of that. Like I said, I'm assuming that was what you're suggesting, is just like a simple animation service. Specifically, just as a general one instead of the running one that I have. I would just have to think of a good way to phrase that on there and make that look good. It's like, half the problem is I am not very well versed in what the market really is. I've just been doing what I want and just hoping that other people want the same thing that I want. I don't know if I would even worry about necessarily setting a frame max on it, like inherently. But you are right about that. Just like change out that running animation one that I have, turn that into a general animation option, and just work out pricing based around like frame count and things like that would probably work. Yeah, no, that would never happen. There isn't a world in which there's something that could be made that would have a reason to have 2,000 frames in my mind. I think the most I've done for something was 40, and a lot of it was repeating frames just to hold on certain frames. Well, bear in mind, like I said, it's a lot of holding frames for that one that I'm thinking of, so it's technically only 20 unique frames. So there's variation there, which is also why I'm not sure I want to actually like hard lock the frame count, because of situations like that where there are going to be things you're going to want to hold on a little bit to focus on a specific frame, so that would end up wasting somebody's frame count, and I wouldn't feel good about that. Yeah, exactly, but it ends up being something that works well. It doesn't have to have a lot of frames to look good. And that's another reason why I'm not sure I want to have the focus on frame count, is by putting a limit there, you make the person doing the request focus more on frame count than they might otherwise. I feel like leaving that open-ended might be easier for people and make them more likely to make the request. But I don't know. I'm open to people correcting me on that line of thought. This is why this dialogue is happening. Or at least that's what it's intended to accomplish. And I think I'm not dead here, because what I can do is double delay. That gets me 28 block. It takes care of 14, 22. There's gonna be some left over there. Yeah, that was part of the thing that was in the way of me actually doing more with animation. But I think you're on the right thought where animation is something people are going to want. Is one of the few commissions I got recently was for an animation. So it makes sense. The problem... A couple of the things I could think of for doing a general animation commission, though, is there's going to be a wide variance in what people's purposes are for them. So there's going to be a wide variance in size, I would figure. Size is going to be the one where it gets complicated. So what I might do is like hard lock the canvas size for it, just so people don't ask for like a starting soon animation or something that ends up being like 1,000 by 1,000 and just is physically impossible to accomplish in anything other than like 2 centuries of sitting there placing pixels. I also don't know why I was staring at this hand so hard. The answer is I didn't realize I had more energy because I forgot I used double delay. This fun fact for all of you out there, depending on how I'm sitting, my microphone gets in the way of my energy value. So now and then I can't actually see how much energy I have. I keep in mind what I've done, and that's how I know how much energy I have. It's either that or I lean over a little bit so I can see it. Streamer inconveniences. Yeah, that's why I was saying I don't know if that would be something I would include as part of the general animation option. Like, I do think I could pull off something like that, but it would take a lot longer than any other project I've done. We might be in trouble here, because that's 18... 30... We just barely live that. So I'm glad I didn't use borrowed time, otherwise we would die here. Oh wait, no, he died because of the reflected damage. So we're not as bad off as I feared. Let's just get out of here before it gets any worse. Ocean Belt, which is great and not at the same time. Still don't have enough Doom generation to make Shroud worth it. Ditto with Dance Macabre, we only have a couple 2 costs, so the only real option here is Reeve. There's something good in the chest. Okay, that's actually very good. Getting some health there actually does make a big difference. I think we hit shop, hit rest, and then run away from the elite for our life. Yeah. Which, that's a whole other thing, is I really do still need to think up some more redeem options, but... This is the constant looping problem I have, is... I have long since learned that the way I look at things and the way things are interesting to me doesn't always line up with a lot of the rest of people in general. So it is complicated for me to come up with ideas that will actually get used. Perspective is a complicated thing as far as that goes. So it's one of those, I can put something in that would make me laugh, but it may not be a button that ever gets pushed. And obviously, avoiding doing something because it might not get used doesn't help anything.
Why not simply destroy them?
Look, I could destroy a lot of things, but that doesn't always solve anything either. But see, that is also a perfect example of a button. I think that's the first time it's been pushed since I put that there. actually been solved. But you know, that's how I felt throughout most of La Milana, so you know, it still makes sense.
What is this?
It's a button. It makes noise.
Rise from your grave.
I'm gonna have to do that in a minute here. I actually have energy left over. This is a tragedy. Oh, so be it. Things I never get to say. I have energy left over.
I'm interested in this.
Good. That is exactly what I hoped for. Let's parse and hope for the best. Not exactly what I was hoping for either, but it'll work. This giant bug might be the end of us here. Especially with a hand like this. Okay, actually, hang on. I gotta be careful how much doom I put on myself, but I can make it work. That's great to hear. I always worry about these things because of the fact that there are just periods where they don't get touched at all. So it's like, okay, I guess people aren't interested. Maybe I need to come up with something else. But it's also kind of feast or famine for whether people are actually actively there to push buttons to begin with. So this is why a lot of these things are very floaty and hard to actually nail down as these are the correct choices. Because it's always a nebulous situation. But my brain doesn't interact well with nebulous situations. So I'm having to play a lot of hum a few bars and fake it for a lot of this, which I know is exactly what most of us out in this business are doing anyway. But it makes the brain itch a bit when I'm just throwing things at the wall and hoping for the best, you know? But I suppose the lesson there is that's also more or less what we're gonna have to do with any kind of commission changes too, is just kind of throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Exactly. As much as that is exactly how life works, it doesn't make it any less frustrating at times. And this is why I wanted to have that conversation. We are 2 hit points away from dying to my own life choices here, I just would like to note. And I think we're about to experience that result. Yep, as I cannot muster enough to make this happen. What I should have done was use the 2 strength potion at the start of this turn, but I had already mathed it out in my head and I was pretty confident it wasn't going to matter. I would have had to have used both potions just to kill this bull bug, and we would have just died to this one instead. We would, well, no, we would have lived 1 turn, but we would have died to the slumbering beetle by the end of this fight. So that's just, we accept our fate there and we will try again. But this is also why I specifically said at the beginning of this VOD, for anybody watching later, hey, don't expect good gameplay, because the focus is going to be on what I'm talking about more than on winning game today. What's happening over here is just background for the conversations happening. Yeah, the random rare is probably better. Maybe not that time. Comet's good, but Comet right now is not good because we have no real star generation to actually use this card. But we'll either make it work or we won't. Because the thing is, Venerate just pays for Falling Star to be used, pretty much. The alternative being I then just save up round by round for Comet to be used. Which it would kill one of these immediately. So it's probably worth banking for. Just depends on how long it takes for that to actually work out. It takes some damage here, but that's fine. See, if that had happened earlier in the fight, this would have worked out perfectly. And it still kind of worked out, just not as well as it could have. If this was like, man, add random colorless card to your hand, this card is free, this would be a guaranteed choice. And I'm probably still taking it anyway, though Bulwark is quite good. Astral Pulse would be good if I had a reliable star setup, but I don't. Take the 1 cost. Missile Baths. I don't think this came up in any of the previous sessions. You discover a secluded chamber. Steam rises from bubbling pools of hot liquid that shifts colors with hypnotic rhythm. Barnacled growths hang from the ceiling, dripping viscous fluids that hiss and writhe when it touches the surface. The air feels heavy, laden with salt and something unmistakably organic. As you approach the edge of the largest pool, the liquid ripples. The waters bubble more intensely as if anticipating your entry. Yay, sentient water! That's what everybody wants, right? Yeah, this seems questionable. We'll take the damage for the max HP a couple times. Go ahead and go up to 81. Heat finally gets to you when you hop out of the bath. Just go ahead, scald yourself for a bit to get health. It's fine. Probably. We could go to a bunch more events or go to the shop earlier. We'll hit the shop earlier. Keep an eye out. As I see a notification, is this important? Technically, yes. Okay. We do not have a Venerate in hand, so Comet is useless. Otherwise, this would have been a guaranteed turn 1 clear an enemy out. Seeker Strike is useful. In fact, actually, this can make that move happen. Yeah. The problem is, again, algorithmic nonsense is unreliable. I think I'm chasing something that doesn't exist by trying to chase any kind of increased consistency. But at the end of the day, that's what I want, is increased consistency. But until the ball really gets rolling, which it hasn't yet, there really isn't going to be a way to get consistency. Why? Oh, right, this time Venerate's in my hand. That time it made sense. The previous Seeker Strike that didn't pull Venerate confused me. I thought Venerate was in the draw pile. But then again, it is one of 3 cards in the draw pile, so it may have just picked the same ones both times. Let's go ahead and Venerate. Manifest Authority. Dark Shackles knocks out all of their strength, so we block all of that. Kill that. And I'm pretty sure when I originally planned to have this whole conversation about the commissions and everything, I had a more succinct and clear thought in mind involving it. And let me tell you, a chunk of that thought process disappeared between when I had the idea and now, because I didn't write anything down. I should have written things down, but I didn't. Like, this is definitely a conversation I should have had some cue cards for myself for. Because I know for a fact I lost some of the points I'd intended to make. But that too is such is life there. Not really super enthused about most of these. We'll take Kingly Punch because it is good damage, especially if we can get any good cycling going. We can actually make use of that. And we'll take the Skill Potion because that will be useful later. Thank you for absolutely no blocking cards, game. It's exactly what I pointed out last time we played this, of it's the Magic the Gathering issue of sometimes you're getting very lucky and sometimes you get no land at all and you're just sad. Go ahead and pop Mayhem. I absolutely shouldn't have popped Mayhem there. I should have blocked, but Mayhem was funnier. If we're aiming for a setup that actually generates and uses stars, Child of the Stars is the move. Because I've been avoiding using the star system too much when I've played Mid-Region up to this point, and I feel like that's missing potential. So we're gonna give that a spin this time around, since we're actually getting some of the options for it. Yeah, you know what? Let's just get out of this fight as fast as we can, shall we? Monologue's good fun, but I don't have enough card strength right now to make that work. Steal 1 strength from all enemies is a good idea, but I'll take Refined Blade for the energy generation. We'll hit this rest point not to heal, but to upgrade. 3 block for each star spend. Yeah, we'll take Glow for 2 stars and 2 cards. That is a better choice at the minute. There's that potion belt again. I got something when I was doing my silent run earlier today where it filled all of your potion slots after every combat, and it was delightful, just having constant piles of potions to fling around. It enabled such nonsense, and I would love to see that item again. But it was one of the starting act relic things, so we would have to get to that point again and have it happen to show up again. Gold Axe. Deal damage equal to the number of cards played this combat. Well, that's just gonna sit for a while, but that's fine. That's 10 damage. I can reduce that by making you weaker. Block 1, that's good enough. And then just Refine Blade, hit him, call it good. Thing is, this is whenever you spend stars. So the hand we have right now won't actually spend very many stars. We also don't have a kill in hand, so at the very least, let's glow to see if we draw something that'll work. There's Kingly Punch. Oh, Kingly Kidney Punch. Okay. Do you think we still put Child of the Stars out? And we won't Venerate because I want to block most of this. And of course, a lot of what I was talking about before is also why I prefaced what I was saying with the... I'm betting there's not really going to be any actual answer here, but I wanted to get those thoughts out. I should have just hit him with a comet. Oh well. We could just slice him down with the sword, Iron Sword. Oh, here's the potion equivalent of the thing I was talking about, where we could just fill all of our potion slots with potions. So that actually goes with the potion belt very well. And there we go, there's Black Hole to go with our Child of the Stars, so we can get block and deal damage for every star used. So this one also benefits from gaining stars. Bundle of Joy would be a lot of fun as well, but we just don't have the energy generation for it. I would burn a turn and not be able to use the result. Let's see, we glow so that we can comment one of these guys right out. You're the one with the highest health, so perish. The rest of them are attacking, so it's not ideal to have done it that way, but it's fine. Grab Quasar. So we can use Quasar for free, and we can Entropic Potion our pocket full of potions. Yikes. Let's see. Actually, yeah, Omni Slice. I have an idea. Actually, yeah, we open with Omni Slice, because that'll hurt all of them and bring their guards up. Which then bringing their guards up is irrelevant, but it's fine. Dexterity Potion so we can mitigate the majority of the damage coming in. I could use more potions than that, but that's all I really need. So we'll just take 5, and that's absolutely acceptable. Black Hole, Venerate. You'll notice that damage doesn't trigger their block, because they're not technically being attacked. They're just taking damage. Which is always one of those funny situations of, like, the logic makes sense, but it also still somewhat feels like cheating. Which, if you're playing a card game and some of the things you're doing doesn't feel like cheating, you're probably not playing the game as expected. Go ahead and make Kingly Punch free so I can just wall up that one and still get a block up. Because at this point, the main thing we're trying to do is just mitigate the worst of the downturn we're having here. Kill you. No, I think Falling Star is a better idea because it'll break this one's guard straight away and allow him to be killed. Manifest Authority will block his attack. Finesse gets us another card. Venerate gets us Quasar. Yeah, Prolong's actually the move here because I can guarantee myself 19 block next turn. And Kingly Punch again. Happy little flower. Every 3 turns we get an extra energy. Ooh. Decisions. Draw 3 cards, choose a skill in your hand, and play it 3 times. That has potential to do very silly things. Come with me. There's the spoils map again. Yeah, sure, I'll take the spoils map. I don't think I've ever taken the damage to procure the potion in that situation. I'm pretty sure I've always taken the map. I don't really want to use any of my potions on a basic combat like this. At the same time, we're not exactly doing a phenomenal job here. Ooh, actually, decisions. And now we manifest authority 3 times. We're not really going to be able to make use of restlessness in this scenario here because we have way too many cards in our hand. Speaking of cards in our hand, more cards! Go ahead and glow for even more cards, but mostly just to use Falling Star. We did a lot that turn. And that's exactly the kind of nonsense I wanted that decisions card for. So I can go full Yu-Gi-Oh here and just take an 18 move turn before my opponent gets to play the game. Okay, Terror Eel. This is something that'll actually be worth using potions against. You know what? I have an idea because Void Form's free. I play the rest of my hand out first, and then I Void Form, so I don't lose anything, but I get 2 free cards every turn. And from here... Let's go shenanigans. Oh, that's actually perfect. I get a free Comet. And a free power. This is why these things are the way they are. They work out very well in the specific right order, and the rest of the time they backfire. He gets stunned because he goes down to 70. We just slice him with our magic sword that we summon out of the ether. If I just had Void Form in the deck, it would not be anywhere near as effective as it was here because I didn't have to pay the energy cost for it. Grade 2 attacks, which just happen to be 2 regular strikes. That's fine. Crescent Spear is very good for the setup we're going for. I do need to heal, otherwise we are going to be in trouble for the boss fight. Because this guy hits pretty hard. From what I recall, he lashes out when he wakes up, too. So I gotta bear that in mind. Okay, no, he got stunned this time. I might have been remembering a different enemy that wakes up. No, if I was gonna flex, I should have done that sooner. Would have loved to have played decisions there as well, but I just didn't have the required things for it. Volley is also good fun. Follow up you with a Comet. Fine Blade. We're getting set up pretty well here. Considering we just have that free block generation at this point. Now, admittedly, we don't have the best follow-up at this exact second, but remember, it's a boss fight, so we will heal back to full after this. So the only thing that matters here is not dying. You've ruined my stats, and I hate you for it. No. I was gonna flex and lash out, but that would actually not work because the only attack we have is Comet. So it just, well, we have the Sovereign Blade as well, but these are not things that necessarily benefit from 5 strength as much as other things would, like multi-attacks and such. And I don't have one more star generation to make decisions happen. There's Gold Axe. That is useful here. I do think we still hit him with the Comet, if for nothing else but to weaken him down to the point where I don't have to block anymore. Then we refine Blade and Golden Axe. Another turn or so and this fight will be over. Or... 8, 16, 24, 32, not quite. Kingly Punch does more, though. And now Volley works. There we go. The Smith is very good. Royalties is a fun one. At the end of every combat, if you've played this power, gain 30 gold. You just bankroll the rest of the run. Guards turns every card in your hand into minion sacrifice, which is just 0 cost blocks. That's lovely and all, but that also means that you're losing all those cards that are in your hand. So this is definitely a very heavy emergency card. I'm taking the royalties. There's the spoils. If you end your turn with unspent energy, gain 2 energy next turn. Sacrifice card rewards to Pale. Every 2 sacrifices obtain a relic or double block gained from a card, then goes to sleep for 2 turns. Based on this deck, we're not going to take the energy one because we're not generating energy that we end up having left over with any consistency, so we'll take the wing. And I may actually start sacrificing card rewards for those relics. I usually don't pass up card rewards, but this might be the one time I do so just because of the specific situation. Guys, you gotta try new things. If you don't try new things, nothing changes. This isn't a bad time to volley, but I will royalties first. Because I want my money. Always get your money. Stun him out. There is no face down cards here, only attacking, only destruction. None of this cowardly hiding your cards. No. Only murder. I should have done that the other way around. He would have died. Oh well. Because he would have had the vulnerable, which would have made the other attack hit harder. But how you doing, Lark? Take my free money. Gamma Burst is not bad. Yeah, sure, we'll take Gamma Burst. Since this is all about using the stars this time around. Yeah, I know the feeling there on the tired. But at least things are otherwise okay. That's always the good side of things. Considering how much there is to catch up on, yes, sometimes you gotta spend the whole day doing that, otherwise you're never gonna make any ground. Fortunately, half this hand is attacks, so impatience doesn't work. What do you know? Gamma Burst is the only one of the cards in my hand that will work with the star count I have. You... I'm gonna go ahead and weaken you. Oh no, it hits everything, right. Never mind, that works perfectly then. We'll take a bit of heat here, but that's fine. Actually, use that. Because we have the black hole that does 3 damage to everything. So now I can kill that one too. Strategy. I mean, honestly, getting through 30 is simultaneously concerning and impressive. Because I'm assuming those are all the standard, like, 30-minute episodes. So... you know, just roughly 30 minutes. There's probably some variance there. So that's a lot of time. If I actually had Volley in the deck, I would take Chemical X. But as it stands, we don't have any actual X cost cards in this deck. Meat on the Bone could be very good. Yeah, that's true. If it's consistently 4 minutes of recap at the beginning, you could just start skipping that, and then you could gain ground faster. Thing is, the Meat on the Bone takes, like, almost all of my money. The Regal Pillow does a similar job as long as there's rest points that I actually go to. That's fair. Even if it's still the vast majority of times, it still works. That'll work. Just buy those things, and those will make my life easier. That said, I don't particularly care about the dexterity potion, so we'll drink that for this fight, because they're putting out a lot of damage. Ooh, the throwing hatchet. Not really something that goes too well in this setup, but it will work. Considering it cuts his health in half, for example. Black hole, glow, falling star. Ugh. Now this is where it gets slightly more complicated. No, actually it's not that complicated at all. We block that, so we don't have to deal with his damage at all. And we're actually not going to finish him off. He's only got 2 health, we don't need to worry about him. It'd be a waste of our attacks to kill him, because he just dies to the star generation. And then we throw the hatchet at this one just so the hatchet cycles again. Because the hatchet only comes back if you actually use it. If you don't use it... Actually, no, it just says at the start of your next turn, so I'm thinking of the bolas. The bolas you have to use, and then they'll come back. The hatchet just comes back either way, so I didn't actually have to use it there. Did anyway. I didn't have to. I could have blocked more, but I'd rather throw an axe at him. That's just the mood I'm in right now. And there we go. We're out of that fight. And another card draw potion. Okay. Charge. Transform 2 of your draw pile cards into minion strikes. 10 damage, draw 1 for free. That's not bad. Considering the star situation we're going with right now, Royal Gamble is the move here, though. Because it's 9 stars. That'll allow me to use most of my star cost cards. We're gonna heal here so we can take on that elite more safely. Because we were getting an elite fight either way, so getting the guaranteed rest is the better choice. Spectrum shift so I get a random colorless every turn. I don't remember these things. I don't think I encountered this fight yet. Go ahead and drink one of the card draw potions. That's not that much better. I was hoping for more of my powers to show up so that I could actually use them while there isn't much danger on screen. Thanks, I hate it. Interesting. Entropy. At the start of your turn, transform 1 card in your hand. You know what? Chaos, go. That is so going to be a bad idea, but it'll be funny. Because I can also just transform the Toxics, but it became just a Slimed instead. I'm assuming it's going to keep it to the same type of card then. Discover a random card. Oh, we could go really silly, actually. Is we take the free bundles of joy, add the 3 random colorless. I have 2 copies of Entropy now. Dramatic Entrance gets played. Jack of all trades gets me Secret Technique, which gets me Glow. I'm doing stupid things and getting away with it. Can't believe that's working. Just spamming a bunch of nonsense and somehow it just is doing something. Get rid of that because I would take 5 damage from that first. If what I just did made no sense, don't worry. I don't understand and what happened there particularly either. I was just throwing cards and hoping for the best. I am invincible. 9 block at the end of your turn. If this is on top of your draw pile, play it. Interesting. I like the idea there, but what if Catastrophe, Refined Blade, and I don't know what the other thing it was that it played. It was... Ah, Falling Star, okay. Which didn't work because I didn't have stars. Oh yeah, I have no stars still. So block his attack then, and just manifest authority. I don't think I've ever used the Gambit successfully. Let alone, actually no, I don't think I've used it, period, because I see the whole you take on block damage this combat, die part of it, and just go, no, I'm not using that. That's a bad idea. The move I would see with that is if you're ironclad, you use barricade with that, and then you're just safe for a good, like, 4 turns, because that's 50 block on top of whatever block you use. Still gonna transform the Toxic, though, because it still turns it into another status, but at least it's a status that doesn't hurt me. Ultimate Defend exists, but it's not one that matters. This hand is actually just, like, really ass, and I don't feel like burning a Swift Potion for this hand to be more useful. So we'll just burn cards and move on with our lives. Convert one of those away. Oh, great, it became a burn. That's so helpful. Royalties, secret weapon. I don't have any stars right now, so it has to be a strike. Which unfortunately doesn't work. Actually, you know what? Just get me out of here. I'm gonna flex on the haters. There we go. Take the extra money. Probably beat into shape because it does damage in addition to forging. Not to mention, it could end up forging for a lot on one of those wild turns. Build up a bunch of powers. Knock his power down a lot, which is so handy for this situation. It's an elite, so we will go ahead and use the Swift Potion here. Because I wanted to use up the whole hand that turn. Or at least as much of it as I could. Yeah, this is the flaw with all the star using cards, is if a bunch of consuming cards all show up together, you don't get to actually use them. They just become dead cards. But Crescent Spear still works. So that does good damage. We have no defensive cards in this hand, and is the awful thing, so we're gonna take a bunch of damage. But we'll actually put Thorns on since he's doing a multi-attack. He'll at least get punished for his sins. Get a 20 damage sword. Since he's not attacking right now, we should just generate as much as we can. Prep time. At the start of your turn, get 4 vigor. That's great and all, but not particularly useful. That's just 4 extra damage on the first attack you do that turn. So not exactly huge. Not bad, but not huge. Make you weak and vulnerable, and slam you. Come on and slam. We won't be able to kill this turn, so we may as well still use prep time. Learn from Batman, use prep time to your advantage. Hello, I'm running out of hand space, but that's fine. He's running out of time to be alive. We're not quite going to be able to get the kill this turn, but we'll also block his whole attack, so it doesn't matter. Purity does not matter. Just hit him with an axe and move on with our lives. Heart of Iron for 7 plating is useful. And hey, look, there's that same bonus that I was talking about, except it's only for the first turn. That set of cards will be our first sacrifice. Now we get a bunch of money. and the prayer wheel, so now there's an extra card reward, which can be perfect for sacrificing for the wing. All according to my cunning scheme. Get a bunch of health back. The only shop we're gonna be able to get is behind an elite, so I guess we're gonna go fight that elite. After the Roach Motel gets cleaned out. So he's gonna do 0. That's 11 otherwise. I was gonna save the plating for the next fight, but I think I'm better off just using it now and having more health for the next fight instead. Because the plating will save me actions in this fight, and a 4 against 1 action economy is important. Welcome back from the ads, by the way, everybody. You didn't miss much. I just moved forward a couple spaces. We gained the prayer wheel that is gonna work well with the wing because I get extra card rewards. Which extra card rewards really only shows up otherwise from a specific card that the Silent has that gets a card reward or bonus if you kill with it. Which I was also using to great effect in that same run that had the random potions. All of those. Kill him just because he's the only one I can kill right now. We have a lot of money right now, so I'm actually not going to worry about royalties. Because we don't have enough energy to use everything. Knock your strength down a bit. Actually, you're vulnerable, so I can just kill... Right, no, they only take 9 damage. That was... stupid. Stupid. Thankfully, perish. It still works. Just differently. This is why flying by the seat of your pants in a game like this backfires, is you just have moments like that where you do fuzzy math by like a point or two and it just goes bleh. Take photon cut for free, which will set him up to die. Go ahead and put that back. You die and we move on. And we got a power potion, which is fantastic. More glow, so we have more star generation. And we'll sacrifice this one, even though hidden cache is tempting. And we got the bag of preparation for 2 extra cards at the start of combats, so that was worth the trade. No, it's the centipede. Great. That's what we all wanted to see, right? Is a giant fucking bug. Oh, there's free void form. This is gonna work out well for us. First, we actually play out the hand. Bolas. I know this just says start of your next turn, return to your hand too. So I guess I don't need to use the bolas, but they're free, so why wouldn't I just use them every turn? Unless something like has thorns set up to punish me for doing so. Play that, play void form. We're gonna take some damage here, but every turn we're gonna be able to do 2 more moves than we otherwise could, so it'll be huge. Spectrum Shift. Sovereign Blade is tempting to use for free here, but Gamma Blast can be used without using its star cost, so this is actually arguably better at the moment. Especially considering how the energy cost of this hand is working out. I need to block, though. This is gonna sting either way. Because that's the problem, is this is still technically 3 enemies, and you have to be careful when you kill them, because they come back if you delay too long on killing the other 2 parts. And considering they keep making me weaker, it's annoying. Ooh, Royal Gamble for free for lots of stars. I like this plan. Don't Child of Stars yet. First, put the Sovereign Blade to use because we can hit him. Now we put Child of Stars down. So we can start getting that free block. and knock him out so we take less damage. Bullets allow me to kill him for free. Salvo for free. And Comet, so we're out of here. Centennial Puzzle draws 3 cards the first time I take damage. That'll be great. Big Bang for free. Draw 1 card, gain 1 energy, gain 1 star, forge 5, and exhaust. Give, give, give. And we're gonna hit the shop and buy so many things. Ooh, Gnarled Hammer. Upon pickup, enchant and up to 3 attacks with Sharp 3, which just raises the attack on those by 3. We're taking Jackpot because it's hilarious. 3 cost, which is unfortunate, but it deals 25 damage and gives you 3 0-cost cards to use. Knockout Blow gives a bunch of stars, so I'm tempted by that. Not really jazzed about Radiate. I am gonna take the Pair, because I need the health. Take the Plating Potion. Reflect could actually be very big. And Pen Nub is worth thinking about, but I think I'm actually going to take the Gnarled Hammer because the 3 extra damage on 3 cards is more consistent. Oh, and I get to pick too? Oh, this is delightful to see. Oh, what 3 cards do I make do more damage? Falling Star... Comet doesn't really need more damage. Gamma Blast, I've used a lot. I could just make my strikes stronger, but a strong argument can be made for starting to cycle those strikes out. So I do not want to buff them. Sure, Kingly Punch will start off a bit stronger. You know what, we'll take Knockout Blow for the memes. This could bite me in the ass because I've now added 2 very expensive cards to the deck. Ooh. Hello? Relic Trader. You turn a corner and suddenly a shadowy figure is just standing there. He pivots to face you. Welcome. What are you trading? The figure inquires as he flares open his cloak to reveal a slew of suspicious wares. So we can give up our extra energy every 3 turns for plating at the start of every combat. Trade in our extra healing at every rest point for strength gain at every rest point. That's not happening. Or trade our 3 cards when we take damage for 4 health on every question mark room. I'm taking the bottom one. His free healing is useful. Thank you. And we are absolutely getting as much health as we can before this boss fight. Because the Knowledge Demon is kinda nasty. We can get away with jackpotting right off the bat here. We won't activate the plating yet because he's not attacking at all. We'll hit him with the Falling Star, and then we'll hit him with Jackpot. Oh great, everything was a fucking... That's the downside to the 0-cost cards for this character, is some of them involve stars, which we don't currently have. That's the risk. But I may as well hit him with the Radiates, because they do still do some damage. Just Stardust is not that... Well, it'll burn the 1 star we have, so let's hold on to the 1 star. This is why the Knowledge Demon is miserable. You either take extra damage every turn, or draw fewer cards each turn. I'm going to take the -1 card this time. The next time it happens, I will probably have to take the damage, though. Because 3 cards a turn will just stifle us into uselessness. But at least I have cards to mitigate the drawdown. This is gonna sting. Yeah, clearly I want to play royalties here, right? That's the move. The ironic thing is I think I am going to unironically play it because I have no reason not to. It just also doesn't benefit me at all to play it. Okay, the Happy Flower triggered, which helps. Hit him with the Big Bang. Flash of Steel for more card draw. Not useful card draw, but it was card draw nonetheless, I suppose. Slicey, slicey. Sloth would be really bad if I ever get one of those really big turns, but for the most part, we're not playing that many cards because of the card draw we got hit with, so I'm actually gonna accept that, which could be a disaster. But I'm gonna kind of hope for the best that I can play around that and not have it bite me too hard. There's Comet, Falling Star, play Eternal Armor. Because the Eternal Armor lets me have more passive protection. 21... Yeah, I think those are the 3 cards. Kingly Punch, Glow. We take 1 damage here. So I think Mind Blast is still worth using in that situation. Because we need to progress the fight, otherwise he'll just keep adding more negatives to us, and eventually we will just lose. It's not attacking, so Refined Blade. Beat into shape. Fucked up, though. But it's fine. That will benefit us more in the long run. I have no reason to burn a star with Cloak of Stars, so just throw the bowl at him. 1 less energy a turn? No, I'm gonna have to start taking the damage. Less energy would be the death of us. As it stands, the Sloth might genuinely end up being the death of me. See, now I have to actually sit here and calculate. Speaking of, Venerate, Reflect, so that he'll hurt himself. And then we swing the sword at him for our 3rd attack. Panache is useless to us, is we literally can't play 5 cards unless the cards play themselves. Which we don't have a setup for that right now. With this hand, though, and only being able to play 3 cards, we'll still use Jackpot. Yeah, because I at least got something that can protect me a little bit. So that worked out. We'll at least live through this turn. That would have been that would have so been a better turn to have Reflect for, though. He would have done so much to himself. But unfortunately, we lose here. Yeah, because we got Eternal Armor at the wrong time. This was going so well until I fucked around a little too hard, and the Knowledge Demon just does not forgive. Like, that's just unfortunate how that turned out. That setup had ideas, though. It very clearly went wrong because of me taking Jackpot and the other expensive card. And I could have reset that fight by saving and quitting before that fight ended. To undo taking Sloth, since Sloth was the reason why that fight ended in failure, pretty much. But that's a cop-out. Let's go ahead and turn one of these strikes into something. Royal Gamble, huh? That's not what I wanted to turn one of my main attacks into. But that's what I did. So be it. Sometimes you fuck around too close to the sun, and you certainly find out. It is getting real warm in here. which is gonna be potentially another reason why this doesn't end up being that long a stream. This is not even summer yet, and it's already getting kind of nasty at times, especially because it swings like way down into the 30s and then goes back to like 70, 80 for a couple days, and it swings back down to the 20s again. It can't make up its fucking mind, so our bodies can't adjust. Which is not abnormal for spring, but it's further than usual. It is very annoying. Let's take Glitter Stream's delayed block is useful. So I have to play around the fact that the game just sometimes doesn't give me any goddamn block. Jungle Maze Adventure. In a clearing, you run into a ragtag group of adventurers looking down and gesturing at a gigantic maze. They offer to join forces with you in an epic quest to loot the riches of this maze. As an experienced adventurer yourself, it's clear this maze is filled with deadly traps and guardians. It'd be easier if you worked together, but then you would have to split the loot. I could take 18 damage and get 136 gold, or get 55 for no cost. I have plenty of health right now, so fuck you guys, I'm doing it myself. Feeling misanthropic, you wordlessly walk past their now frowning faces. One of them even shakes their fist at you. The maze is not welcoming. You fall into a spike trap and you're struck by a massive log with spikes, and feisty creatures with spike clubs fight you along the entire journey. You're sick of spikes and consider teamwork for the next adventure. Honestly, that is the move I would do. I have soloed so many things I had no business soloing just because I didn't want to deal with people. Yeah, now neither of us have energy. I should have Royal Gambited, though. I didn't realize I had 5 stars until that exact moment after I pushed the button. And then sadness ensued. I am playing way too fast and loose, but that is just a perpetual thing for me. There's not much reason to use alignment here. It would gain me just 6 damage, and I don't care enough to burn stars for that. Glitter Stream, Venerate, Royal Gambit. Now I have lots of stars. Problem is I have nothing to use them for other than alignment and the comet right now. We also probably would have done better in that last run if I had actually used the wing more often instead of grabbing card rewards. But we didn't actually end up with that many regular combats after we got the double card rewards. Glimmer. Actually, yeah, because that'll allow me to put a card I'm not going to end up being able to use that turn back. Rolling Boulder's fun, but I don't think it would fit in well right now. We'll definitely take Black Hole and Glow since we're working towards the same setup again, and obviously Solar Strike will work with that as well. Crush Under is also useful, so we'll take that as a non-star using thing to use. And we'll rest and take the Elite because we can then rest again after the damage we take from the Elite. Do I want to upgrade something? Solar Strike starts generating 2 stars. That knocks down 2 strength. 6 delayed block. Draw 4 cards. Yeah, we'll take the Solar Strike for 2 stars right now. I do want alignment for 3 energy, but not yet. No, it's this fucking guy again. The Glitter Stream back for now. I was hoping to get Venerate so I could trigger Royal Gamble straight away. No such luck on that one, though, so we'll just wallop him. And here comes the garbage pile. Now there's the Venerate. And Solar Strike, both of which would have worked. Glitter Stream will take 1 damage, but at least we'll have some block for next turn for free. Based on this hand, alignment will work. Because I alignment, and then I Venerate the stars back. I should have used Black Hole before that, but this is what I mean about playing too fast for my own good. I don't actually read everything before I start throwing cards. Get you off the screen. Summon in your little friends. This hand works, but not really. Put the defend back for when they're starting to attack next turn. Blow. Gambit. Ironically enough, I might alignment even though it doesn't benefit us directly because it kills... You know, it benefits us directly in a different way. Ooh, Radiant Tincture. And we got a potion belt to carry more potions. Convergence is always useful. We'll take that. And we do definitely need to heal after that encounter. I don't need a second rest right now. Depending on how these first two fights go, we can pivot away from the elite if this goes bad, so this is the better choice. Parrying Shield. If you end your turn with at least 10 block, deal 6 damage to a random enemy. Yes, please. That will be useful. Indirectly useful, but still useful. Not exactly my finest array of moves there, but it's fine. I had a mental failure there, thinking that reducing strength by 1 was gonna do the same as weaken, and it's like, no, that is absolutely not the case. But you've done it already, so it's too late to do anything about it. There we go. Weak potion. Considering what happened last time, we'll take Bulwark this time. Because we did have a little bit of a failure to defend ourselves. Don't really have too much attachment to the weak potion, and the Flyconoid does do a lot of, like, double-digit damage attacks. So we're just gonna go ahead and weaken him for a bit. We don't have to worry about that as much. Blow to see what we get, and be disappointed by the answer. Rush under just because it's multi-target damage. Block most of this. And I may end up using the explosive ampule if we get into a good position for it. Not with this hand, though. It's overkill for this turn, but it might save us next turn, so we will go ahead and glitter stream. Right, I don't have the black hole going right now. Yeah, explosives. There's black hole. So we play black hole, play alignment to kill him, solar strike, venerate, convergence. We'll take a little bit of heat here, but we've gotten out of this fight pretty much. There we go. Gather light, because that's useful, and generates block. Based on how I was making a hash of that, we're not going to that elite. While I would end up taking the elite more seriously, that doesn't mean that that's a good idea. Lower your strengths, you are only doing 6, and then block. The amount of misplays I've done playing this today is probably making a lot of people out there very sad. And you know what? That's just what you get when you watch a streamer play a game. If you're watching us for us to be effective, you might be in the wrong market. We will be effective some of the time, and then there's a lot of fuck around that will happen as well. Furnace might actually work out, so I will take it. This is the first time we've actually had Furnace as an option. similar case, go ahead and Bulwark. Because if we're boosting the sword every turn, that actually works out well for us. Calculating. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was hoping for alignment to come up, but I think alignment's in the discard right now, isn't it? No, it isn't. So it could have. It just didn't. That's fine. Yeah, this is dangerous enough that I'm willing to do that. How much did that actually help? Answer may surprise you, in that it's actually not as much as you might think. So I can either block for 17, which doesn't defeat their attack, or I can attack for 37, which would kill one. Though, I do have Black Hole, which is spend or gain stars. This gains me stars, so that would be 40 to kill the one doing 14. So that's the better call, because now we only take 4. There's alignment now that I don't need it. Royal Gambit. Bulwark up. On the bright side, we're out of this fight at this point, so no longer matters. Gambler's Brew might actually be huge for us, because we keep having hands that are just terrible. Grab Comet back, because we've been generating lots of stars. Which means it's going to show up when we have no stars. And Glitter Stream for next turn. And smack him. I was debating Gathering Light, but it'll be fine. Furnace, Black Hole, Convergence? Yeah, pretty much has to be that, because I don't have anything else I can really make any use of in this hand. But this works. We Venerate into Royal Gamble, into Glow, just because it does a lot of free damage. Falling Star on the note of free damage. Sword's not strong enough yet. Go ahead and just Bulwark away the damage he was going to try to do. And it all works itself out. And then we just Comet out of the battle. Pillar of Creation. Does that even work for us right now? That would have been great for the previous run, because we would have been creating a bunch of random cards. Astral Pulse could work, since we do have a decent amount of star generation right now. And multiple enemies is kind of our big problem most of the time. Part of me wants to grab Pillar of Creation just for the expectation of what I'll be getting, but that's a risk. And I think I'm going to avoid taking the risk. I'll take Astral Pulse. We absolutely need to heal, even though we're not even going to heal the full. So Vantum might still be bad, but we gotta, we gotta position ourselves as best as we can. Venerate, Royal Gamble. I'm surprised we keep getting Royal Gamble right at the beginning over and over again like that. Go ahead and pop the Radiant Tincture so I can block. And I get the extra energy for the rest of the turns, which is as much the reason for it as any. Let's see, Black Hole first, Glow, Comet for sure. It gets deflected by the Slippery, but it weakened him is the more important bit. Astral Pulse. We're spending a lot of my stars, but it's cutting down all those Slippery charges, so we can actually hit him. Virgins, Defend, 8 life. This is gonna hurt. Okay, 5 energy, so we hit him with Falling Star to keep the weak and the vulnerable on him. Glitter Stream for next turn when he attacks properly. Speaking of, for when he attacks, put Bulwark in the next hand instead. I could immediately counter my own move, but why would I do that? Let us instead hit him for 12, and we'll save the Sovereign Blade for a future turn, after it's been buffed up some more. This is a hand that's fine to Gambler away. Bit of... that works. Venerate, Alignment, Glitter Stream for next turn, Solar Strike. Here we go. Still didn't end up using the Bulwark that I put back there, but it was a bad hedge move to have moved it there. We just didn't end up needing it. There we go, he still doesn't deal any damage to us. We've managed to keep that weaken on him for a while, but we are running out of ways to keep that move rolling here. That's all. Oh no, that's 45 with the vulnerable. There we go. This is why you check what the number changes to, because it may surprise you. Ooh, that's actually funny. Bombardment. Deal 18 damage at the start of your next turn. Play it from the exhaust pile. So I think that means since it exhausts, it'll always be in the exhaust pile every turn, so it's just 18 damage every turn. The only problem being it's 3 energy. Seeking Edge could be good because it makes the Sovereign Blade hit everybody. And we've discussed the benefits of the royalties money, so I'm taking the royalties money again to keep shops useful to us. Let's see. Robust, what do you got for me? 2 common cards, 2 uncommons, and a rare. 4 potion slots filled with random potions. Or turn Falling Star into Meteor Shower. These upgraded cards are really nice. Like, it costs the same as Falling Star does, but it does double damage, double status, and it hits everything. Like, that is just so much better. So we're taking that. Not to mention the card art on those is neat. So I do want to go to a shop. We'll go this way. Until I change my mind. This hand is awful. This is a contender for worst hand we've had in any run so far today. Because that is a hand that did fucking nothing. Oh, actually, Comet's not as good here, because it won't kill, because they only take 9 from anything they get hit with. But the vulnerable and the weak is still nice, so whap. Black Hole, Furnace, Crush Under. This way we take less damage, but we still lowered all of them, is the idea. Blow for the AoE damage. Gather Light for the same reason. Solar Strike to kill everything. There we go. Give me another Solar Strike. As much as I like Spectrum Shift, it just keeps biting me in the ass when I use it, so I'm gonna stop. As funny as it is, all good things have to come to an end eventually. There we go. Putting the Royal Gambit back did not quite work, but it's okay. That's why it's a gambit. It doesn't always work out. And Bulwark up. Astral Pulse. Actually, I could have broken his guard there. It's fine. I miscalculated the energy costs. Go ahead and knock you out of your little hole that you're hiding in. We cannot kill this turn. We can, however, kill this turn and get our royalty money. Perfect. There you go. Don't you just love free money? I know I do. Please note, there is very rarely a case of actual free money. There's your PSA for the day. Furnace, Venerate. I should have bulwarked probably, but you know what? Sometimes it's just too late. Meteor Shower, Book of Stars, Solar Strike, Glow. Solar Strike again, but this is the time where I actually use Bulwark. You're gonna buff, so you're probably gonna do the same thing you did earlier. Except this time, you died. Oh yeah, this is a potion I recently got out of one of the unlocks. Powdered Demise. Enemies lose 9 health at the end of each of their turns. It's quite nice, as you might imagine. Amethyst Aubergine for extra money? Ghost Seed for strikes and defense gaining ethereal. I do like Orbit, so we'll take Orbit, because every 4 energy you spend gives you 2, so you can just keep looping, depending on what you've got going. I could just generate even more money with the Aubergine. I'm actually going to take Dying Star, because that is useful. Also want an energy potion and a swift potion to set up some nonsense. I don't really want any of these other ones. Is there anything I want to get rid of? Is there anything that just kind of feels like a dead card in here at the minute? Not especially. Nothing's like completely useless to me. But I also very rarely end up removing cards because I am a fool that way, so... Take what I say there with a grain of dust. I'd say salt, but salt would be useful. Is it worth aligning here? Yeah, probably. Because then I can still use Glitter Stream after attacking. You know what? The hell with it. We're just committing here, apparently. And that's why sometimes committing isn't a good idea. Because we have just the wrong star count to use any of this. Oh, fun fact, by the way, when these things hatched, they shed all of the statuses that are on them, so despite what you might think, I don't want to use Powdered Demise this turn. Because they will just lose the status effect. I noticed that when I tried to put a bunch of Doom on these preemptively, and they lost the Doom count. So it was awful. And I don't have anything that'll kill them right now, so this is just a turn of suffering, really. We might actually be in trouble here. Oh! For some reason, I didn't even think that this was a single target potion. Well, I'm gonna use it on you anyway, because the odds of me dying at this point has become incredibly likely when my hand ended up drawing like complete ass back to back here. I've been betrayed by my cards once again. Block for 10, which isn't gonna do much because there's still... Let's see, it's a total of 19 coming in, so we're gonna take 9. Building up the star count's our best choice here. Just with the hand that we had. Okay, that works. 'Cause that hurts them all. And then this kills all of them except the boss. Most of the group here. So that's perfect, actually. That solves the problem. Because it's the fact that there was a ton of them hurting me that was the issue. We may as well bulwark because we at least get the blade and boost the blade. It's a shame we have no block retention, but it's fine. Yeah, this entire deck drew, like, backwards. As far as being useful goes. There were so many better ways this deck could have drawn around, and it just didn't. That on the top, because I'm not going to use that this turn. Black Hole, Astral Pulse. Yeah, if I had done that in the proper order, he would have died already. It's fine. Because at least he does a whole 1 damage, and then he dies. Yeah, foregone conclusion will actually be useful. We absolutely need to heal here, or we will just die a miserable death. And let me tell ya, ain't going elite word here, not at all. Going to the event and hoping for the best. That works. We've seen Spirit Grafter before, so I won't read it. Metamorphosis isn't exactly ideal, but the heal from this will actually be very good. Because that solves our health problem. Ooh, Pendulum. Whenever you shuffle your draw pile, draw a card. Considering the way we try to cycle sometimes, that will actually be very good. 3 foul potions to give to the merchant? Yeah, sure. I got space for him. Give him here. Because we're literally going to the shop right now. So, here you go. Enjoy your awful potions. Bronze scales for thorns wouldn't be awful. Lava lamp ain't happening, so I'm not even bothering with that. I do want the energy potion and the power potion. I already have a copy of Orbit, so I don't really want 2 copies of it. Considering the way our health's going, the pillow wouldn't be a bad idea. I think, yeah, we buy the pillow, then we buy Guiding Star and another Crescent Spear. It's against my better judgment, but I'll take a second copy of Alignment as well. Make it more likely to show up when we need it. And since we healed before getting to this rest point, we'll actually do an upgrade here. I could just add 5 random attacks. No. No. Let's make Orbit cheaper, so Orbit's more likely to actually get played. And we'll go Event Word for fun. Oh, hi, shopkeeper. It's a real shame that I spent all my money already, buddy. Oh, these would have actually been way better, too. Blood Vial, it's only 2 health, but it adds up. Game Piece could have worked well for us because we have a decent amount of powers we're using. So it would have been good card draw. And Punch Dagger exists. There's not really anything that I would be too excited to put momentum on, particularly. Because my goal is to end fights quickly. And I don't have great cycling power to just keep reusing the same card repeatedly before too much time passes. So it doesn't really work. Meteor Shower and we'll Metamorphosis for fun. Heirloom Hammer and 2 Stardusts. The Stardusts are like the worst thing I could have gotten out of that. So thanks, game. Love that for me. These Toxics are going to be an issue. So we're going to go ahead and Gambler Potion them away. Crush under. Bulwark. That'll be that. Ugh. You ever just get that feeling that you're getting the short end of the stick? Because boy, do I feel that right now. No, I have to mitigate. Because there's only so much I can get away with just accepting damage. Yeah, but see, the Stardusts are great, except for the fact that they still have to have their X cost. So it burns stars. And we have too many things that use stars for Stardust to be exciting. Because right now it'd be 20 damage, but it'd be split between the two of them randomly, so who knows what I would get. Technically, we could make it 30 damage, but that's still not better than, like, using alignment and everything else that's in my hand, basically. Really hoping that'd be a kill. I can make that happen, though. There we go. This way, there's only one of them now. Do that. Obliterate him with Crystal Spear. Those spears have become, like, the best card in this deck, just because they do so much damage. We got Insatiable, so we'll go ahead and heal to full before we do that fight. So I've not done this fight very often, but I do remember that you have to burn energy occasionally to run away from it so you don't just get eaten. Okay, it's putting 6 status cards in my deck and buffing itself, which I believe is triggering the running away thing I was talking about. Yeah, Genesis. Generate stars for free. Yes, please. Because that'll make the whole setup we've got going here function. Yeah, see, we get a bunch of frantic escapes. 4 turns, you'll be eaten and die. It is as disgusting as it sounds. Here, have a comet. Means we can't Crescent Star, but that's fine. Dying Star would have knocked his strength out entirely, but this way we get to do more than just what that was going to do for us. Both alignments in one hand, huh? Okay. Could still work. Eventually. Discovery. Yeah, Shining Strike, I think. Actually, no, because Discovery makes the card free, so Crescent Spear wouldn't have a star cost anymore. Nah. We'll still stick to this idea, because this allows me to use alignment again if I wanted to, which I don't in this particular situation. Okay, we need to use at least one of these frantic escapes because we're getting too damn close to death. Royal Gambit, so we have piles of stars, alignment. Now we can actually use all these frantic escapes to get me piles of distance. And now we have lots of stars to use, too. Buffing your strength, that's perfectly fine. You go right ahead and do that. Swinging for 20, I have literally no defense in my hand. Go ahead and Metamorphosis. Free Bombardment? Okay. Alright. I'm into it. We don't need the star generation from that, so we'll just hit him. Remember, it's a boss fight, so all I have to do is not die. Which is easier said than done with some of these hands I've been getting, but still. I do really need more Frantic Escapes to show up, though. Like, soon. Because I have 2 turns before I die. Not to mention the fact that I'm approaching death via damage very rapidly here. Oh, we're fucked. Because I don't have any card draw in hand, and He's going to win by Sandpit right now. Unless this is enough damage. It is. Whew. I'm glad I didn't just give up. This is why you never just give up. Play the hand out no matter how it looks. Grab Genesis for the star generation. And we made it to Act 3. This is the furthest I've gotten with the Regent. Usually he died in Act 2. Get a load of this thing. So add one whistle, which calls this thing down to attack, deal 33 damage and stun the enemy. That's pretty neat. You can cook at rest sites. Remove 2 cards from your deck and gain 9 max HP. Or at the start of every turn, gain 7 block. Give me the sigh. Free block is going to be huge for us. We'll be dealing with the test subject, which I've only run into once before, and I think I died to it. So, not exactly a great look. Line, because I can do it for free. Morphosis. Just play out the whole hand, because why not? Vacuum. Doing that actually shot me in the foot, though. I should have actually Crescent Speared twice instead. Oh well. I didn't realize I had that few stars. It's the classic, I didn't actually look before I leaped situation once again. I have 1 energy, so give me glow. So we get Shining Star back, which allows us to Royal Gambit, which gets us lots of stars to work with. Now we Shining Strike again to keep the stars rolling. Didn't get any defenses, so that 21 hurts a lot, but we hurt him a lot too, so I'll take it. Collision Course for some nice damage. Glimmer. Based on this hand, go ahead and put this back. The problem is he's just doing, like, exponentially more and more damage, pretty much. Because he's building so much strength. Like, I wish I could build strength like that. Oh, that's a shame. He didn't die from that, huh? Uh-oh. This hurts the me. This hurts the me a lot. Except he died, so we're fine. It's a good thing I played all those cards then. Parry's just not that good for us. Monologue with Retain, though, could actually be huge. Because we just hold that for a turn where we play a lot. And just hammer somebody. Black Hole, Venerate, which allows me to Comet. So we'll just slam his attack down. Foregone Conclusion, and just hate my life. Let's see, we have 0 stars, so I don't want alignment. Give me Orbit and Glow. First we Orbit, then we Glow, then we cry because I didn't get what I wanted. Once again. Oh, Radiant Tincture it is then. And so we can actually do a little bit more here. So that allows me to Solar Strike and Guiding Star. I was gonna have to do only one or the other, or I could have Bulwarked to reduce the damage, but with the amount of health they have, we need to start working that down or we're not gonna get anywhere. Hope you're doing well, Cozy. We can kill the front guy at least. Crescent Spear, so that works. We'll hold that monologue for a future turn. This one will work, so monologue. Convergence, Gather Light, Glimmer. Put the Royal Gambit on the top of the deck, it doesn't really matter. It's not quite as much as I'd want, though. But we can kill him with these two. There we go. That went poorly, but at least we got out of there alive. Go ahead and take Know Thy Place. Fabricator with his weird spider Dr. Octopus machine here. He's throwing out an 18 straight away. So I really should Glitter Stream, but I'm tempted to use Genesis. No, our health's too low to fuck about in that manner. Just block the attack, you silly man. Otherwise, it's only gonna get worse from here. And this is why, because he's got a Zap Bot now. But thankfully, Dying Star will reduce that problem a fair amount. And then we just block for 21 to keep all of that at bay. Except he just keeps making more bots. This is a perfect image of all these people that are making all these stupid Twitch bots that just keep spamming crap in everybody's chats. This right here is the problem in a nutshell. Some jackass and a weird robot just keeps making more bots to piss everybody off. Except they're not even as cool as to have a mech, they're just an asshole. And, I think this is where our journey on this attempt ends, because I did not draw what I needed. Now, there's a reason why this keeps happening. And it's the fact that I keep just stacking cards instead of actually doing proper deck management and removing things. I fully acknowledge that. Before anybody's like, he's just complaining and doesn't acknowledge that he's doing something stupid. It's like, no, I know I'm doing something stupid. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop doing it, though. That. Now, while the ads are currently running, I am gonna get up for a quick moment here, because we are 3 hours in without me having gotten up. So, it would be wise of me to step away for a moment, if for nothing else but to stretch my legs a moment. That will probably only go for like another hour. But either way, back in a moment. Yeah, I think we'll do basically one more real run, pretty much. Let's see, Rend, which could be pretty good. Beatdown, that could be funny. Prowess is just mechanically useful, potentially. His Majesty attempted to make friends, literally. They're quite sturdy and decent at following instructions. They're terrible at chess and enjoy pop music. The minions were swiftly demoted from friend to minion. Yeah, that checks. I know a few people like that. Be gone. Minion dive bomb. No, that's not that big a thing. Welcome back from the ads, everybody. I didn't do basically anything while you were gone. I've just been clicking through my unlocks after I got up for a moment. Ooh, whenever you play a colorless card, gain 1 strength. That plays very well with the nonsense I've been doing. Supermassive, deal 5 damage, 3 more damage for every card you created this combat. That also works for what I've been doing somewhat. Let's see, fencing manual, forge 10 at the start of each combat. Not bad, not bad. For every 10 stars spent, gain 10 block. That'll be useful. At the end of your turn, gain 1 star. Also could be useful. And the last one... This is, I think, is more of a general one. Ah, unlock Darv the Ancient Hoarder. The Ancients are the ones that are giving us stuff at the start of each act. For those who aren't up on that information. What do I want to do my last run with? We did a lot of Regent runs. We did one Necrobinder. Let's do a basic Ironclad today. Need to wrap off. If it ends too quickly, we'll try something else. I could just get more health, but honestly, I don't mind the lose all gold here at the beginning because 99 gold's not that much. Infernal Blade, Twin Strike, and Bloodletting, Rupture, Pummel Strike, and True Grit. Give me this set. I like all 3 of these cards. That'll actually be a good starting help to getting set up, so that'll be good. But we disregard shops for a while because of that, so we're gonna go to the right. Because, you know, no money. And a free card. Game? Game, we need to have a talk. Stop giving me X cost cards when you're giving me a free card. It's not helpful. It's very funny, but it is not helpful. I swear, like, every other zero cost card we've gotten today has been an X cost, so it doesn't even work. I feel like I'm just getting pranked. And I didn't notice that I got weakened, so I pranked myself. Way to go, May. Perfected Strike is good. I'm actually gonna try Hemokinesis. I've actually never used it before, because I don't like the take damage to use cards much, aside from Bloodletting. Ooh, Doors of Light and Dark. A doorway existed where none existed moments before. You enter the 2 shimmering doorways and a well-dressed doormat. And is there? Finally, a visitor. Please, please, choose a door, any door. Are we still in the Spire? How's this place so clean? So I could go through the light door and upgrade 2 random cards, or the dark door to remove a card. We're gonna upgrade 2 random cards. My Infernal Blade is now free. Hell yeah. Into the light. It's blinding, but the light strengthens you. You're back in the Underdogs. How did you... Huh? It's almost like that door didn't really go anywhere at all. It's like we went nowhere at all. Nowhere at all. Nowhere at all. I don't know if that works. Well, you know what? It happened. Body Slam is at least more useful. So it basically equals out to costing 1 because I have to build block before I can use it. But, nice and quick fight. Beetlejuice, very good. Battle Trance. Because I tend not to have enough non-attack cards to make Brace worth it. Y'all have seen how I do things. I clobber thing overhead with weapon until thing die. Speaking of thing die, bludgeon for free. We're taking stone armor. I wanted juggling, but stone armor's a good idea. Especially now that it's 6 plating. Long-lasting block will save us trouble in the future. Spiraling Whirlpool. I don't think we've seen this one. I've seen it a bunch off camera, but not on camera. You happen upon a massive spiraling whirlpool. The water swirls with beautiful precision, and its surrounding walls are adorned with spiral patterns. Around and around, around and around. What a sight. What do you do? So we can enchant a strike or defend with Spiral, which makes it replay a second time, or we can heal a bunch. We don't need that much health, so we're gonna upgrade a strike to hit twice. Ah, so beautiful. So it spins, still spinning around. Yes. Oh, was that a little splash? Of course you deserve some fun too, Mr. Spiral. Haha. It's time to go now. You whisper something as you take your leave. Thank you, Spiral. That was a weird experience, and we're gonna not address it further. Since we have this strike hitting twice, we're gonna go and upgrade it. So it'll be 18 damage total instead of 12. And then we got a clam. That'll transfer card draw. Strike twice. I should have made him vulnerable first, but I wasn't sure I was gonna do that, and now we're gonna block instead. Stomp stomp. There we go, making good headway. This runs off to a solid enough start so far. So I feel like I'm slowly ending this run for myself by constantly using the hurt myself to do damage move. Yeah, headbutt will actually be useful because we can move a card to our next turn. Okay, start every combat with 1 strength, hell yeah. Perfect for my aggro strategies. Stone armor goes on immediately. Battle trance to see what I get. This is a good time for bloodletting. Headbutt to put battle trance back on top so we get even more cards. And block everything they're gonna do. Free uppercuts, nothing to sneeze at. Ooh. We bash, we uppercut, we double strike. Oh, right. It has hardened shell, it can't take more. I'm an idiot. Ah! Well, such is life. I love it when I get excited about a play only for it to backfire miserably. I won't be able to do more damage than that this turn anyway because of the limiter. That'll transfer options. That'll do everything damage-wise we need it to, so yeah, go for that. The weakening might have been the better idea, but it's fine. Goodbye. The courier. The merchant no longer runs out of cards, relics, or potions, and his prices are reduced by 20%. I've never seen this before, and I so wish I had this on any of the Regent runs. The ability to just buy as much as I wanted because of the royalty money would have been absurd. But we'll probably still have decent money either way. We'll take Shrug It Off. Cruelty is good to have for the extra damage to vulnerable enemies, but we don't really need another copy of Bloodletting. So... Wow. Incredible basic bitch hand you've given me, game. Anyway, using my basic bitch cards. But... he's only doing 1 damage, so... I don't really have a reason to do this, but I'm gonna do this anyway. Stone Armor will mitigate his attack immediately. Battle Trance gets me Infernal Blade, which gets me Perfected Strike, and I stand corrected, he's just not even going to get to play, because he's dead now. The Burning Blood we have is the main reason I'm even willing to use these self-damage moves at all. Is we're at least mitigating the damage, as long as I don't go too wild with it. I'll get off, so it'll be a useful blocking move. We are the rats. We're gonna die. Ooh, actually, yes. Yes, they are going to die. Not immediately, though, unfortunately. Because that's 18 to all three of them. That kills one of them, but it's the only one not attacking. But if I throw this vulnerable potion on that one, he will also die. Alternatively, I defend once and then Whirlwind, which will do 12 to all of them. Doesn't kill anybody at that point, but it also reduces the damage we take. Third option is we Twin Strike one of them first and then Whirlwind, is that'll be the same as one more hit of Whirlwind than Whirlwind by itself would be. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do that option. Because it doesn't matter that the one that's debuffing lived, and 6 damage just gets healed off by the Burning Blood, so it doesn't matter that that happens either. There we go. Does mean we didn't gain health there, but we didn't lose any either. Ooh, Evil Eye. 8 block, and then gain another 8 if you exhausted a card. Alternatively, Pummel Strike. Goddamn spoils map. Well, I'm taking it. Because the money is useful. Especially since we have the Courier. The Matriarch. I think I particularly want to upgrade in this hand. Yep, his Pummel Strike giving me 2 cards is good, actually. Stone Armor right off the bat. We love to see it. Battle Trance. Wake her up immediately. Hit you with the Beetlejuice. Now you're Whittle. Oh no. So Whittle. I'm so gonna pay for my sins there, and I know it. Like, I am absolutely gonna get punished for my sins there. Ooh, free setup strike. Strike. Shrug it off. Bloodletting. Keep swinging. We're already halfway through her health, so we're doing decently here. Did I say half? I meant 2/3. Yeah, we have some very good power output right now. Oh, good, you went back to your original size just to die. Juggernaut could be good, but we don't really have that much in the way of block options at the moment. But that does mean if I pick up a bunch of block options, we can turn them into attack options. Alternatively, feed could mean we have a pile of HP to burn. Thrash is fun, but I swear it doesn't work properly, or I don't understand it, because I swear it's not gained any damage any of the times I've used it. Even though it has properly exhausted the attacks, I've never seen it do more damage. I'm gonna take the Juggernaut, because it's new. What do you got for me, Eyeball Man? Upgrade 6 random cards, reroll card rewards once, or get 12 health at the end of every combat. Give me that. Because that gives us more leeway to A, make mistakes, and B, consume health to fight faster. We don't need 2 shops. His 277's not enough to make 2 shops work. If we swing up the right, we can hit a shop there, but I'm thinking actually we eschew the shops at the beginning. Except there's no shops later. Never mind. I was gonna say we'll wait till after we hit the X marks the spot section in the middle there to then spend piles of money at the merchant. But there's no merchants past there unless one of the question marks is a merchant. Can I also say that I actually really appreciate that they have the spoils map treasure in the center and they point all of the paths to it. This way you can't miss your spoils map reward. Because that would make the spoils map even worse than it already is if you could miss it. We'll go up this right-hand side and hit this late shop instead of any of the earlier ones. Bug, 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 bug. Bug, 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 bug. I don't really want a Juggernaut in this situation. Bloodletting, strike, strike, bash, crush, kill, destroy. Thank you for giving me back my health. We'll take another Shrug It Off to work with Juggernaut and have card draw outside of Battle Trance. Free Hemokinesis? Okay, sure. This was a very unhelpful hand, arguably, because we're just gonna lose health here, but we did shred him in the process, so I can't be too upset. No blocking, only dying. We're kind of ending up in like a mutually assured destruction setup here. Like we're just full berserk. I'm actually gonna skip this set. This set sucks. Based on what we have. Oh, the Hunter Killer. This thing is always such a problem. But we can flex on the haters. Get him! Eat him! Kick his ass! He's already at half health. Ender. Joke's on you. You also lose a lot of strength. Fuck you. We've actually done a lot already. But the problem is a lot of our stuff's gonna start doing nothing, so there's no point in bloodletting here. Because as it stands, already a lot of things are doing nothing. Yeah, Mangle's too expensive to bring back, but we'll pull Pommel Strike back for card draw. To think, I was afraid of this thing a minute ago. And now we're just kind of trashing it. We're gonna take some heat here, but that was just one of those turns. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and mangle him because he'll do 0 damage. And it was honestly just satisfying to see the Hunter Killer attack that whole string and do 0. I do like Unrelenting. Juggling is also fun, though. We'll take Unrelenting, though. It's more likely to get used for actually useful things. This hand, however, is kind of a shame. Stone Armor, Unrelenting, Strike you, and we just move on with our lives and take some heat. Chuck an explosive into the group for fun. Oh, Sword Boomerang. That's actually great for this, because it chips them down nicely. Kill you. Can't kill anybody else immediately here, so we'll lower you so you can be killed. And there we go. Ooh, buffer potion. Thank you. Actually, we do want grapple, considering we can combine that with Juggernaut. So we deal some damage, and then we deal damage every time we generate block. So it ends up just chewing through them. We wanted this shop, so we're gonna hit this rest point. We're Upgrading Unrelenting just makes it do more damage. Damn it, Juggernaut doesn't get cheaper. If Juggernaut got cheaper, I would have such an evil idea. Let's make Bloodletting give me more energy instead, then. I have a scheme. Iron Wave's always good. Rage will actually pair with my Juggernaut strategy perfectly. I don't like this. Like, I do and I don't. Drawing 2 cards is great, but exhausting the top card of your draw pile has such potential to throw away a perfectly good card. The idea makes me sad. We're gonna throw away the speed potion and take the attack potion. And get rid of the explosive ampule and take the radiant tincture. I like those ideas better. We'll take Mind Blast because I do tend to build out the deck hard. And Jack of all trades is fun. Sure, we'll take that too. 3 of you, huh? Okay. Go gadget attack potion. Well, this is not what I wanted. Setup strike it is. Metal trance. And first we set up strike. Then we stone armor. Mind crush. And then we get real sad because I did bad math. Because everything I have is overkill for dealing with this little bastard over here. And if I'd done better math, I would have actually targeted the one in front that was going to do more damage because we could have actually killed him. Instead, now I just look like an idiot, which, you know, I wish that was a less accurate statement. I have to burn my radiant thing just to fix my mistakes. This way we can actually block as well, so it's not as big a waste. And now I'm getting punished further because I'm not getting what I need. Love that for me. We will still get back basically everything we're losing at the moment, so it's fine. Catastrophe plays Pommel Strike and Infernal Blade. You love to see it. Just ripped them apart from here. Had to burn more potions than I would like, but it worked out. Armaments is really good, but more Infernal Blades for more free attacks is always a good time. And here's our pile of free money. And bag of marbles for everybody other than me to be vulnerable straight off. Perfect. Let's go fight an elite then. Up the field of man-sized holes again. Ugh. I don't really want to remove anything from the deck, so I'm gonna take Perfect Fit. Put Rage at the top. The thing is, for me, that means the only time it'll actually put it to the top is when it just naturally cycles from the discard pile. Which is why I'm not that excited about that. If I had a setup where I would get things back to the deck more often, it would be a much more useful and interesting idea. But I don't have a setup like that, so it doesn't benefit me. This is going to sting. This hurts me, and I don't appreciate that. Breakthrough for free, sure. Plating. Play the whole hand out. Of course I get rage when you're not attacking. Fucking course I do. That said, rage, Juggernaut. This way we get a bunch of free damage, and we get our Juggernaut out finally. Don't have anything to make him vulnerable at the moment. All this card draw. There's Rage back. Battle Trance. Bash, so Dismantle goes off twice. Unrelenting, so I can fit Strike in. And he's gone. Ooh, Red Skull. We get at 3 extra strength when we're at half health. Fish Oil is useful. We'll take Stomp because I'm being very aggressive. And I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. This is a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it. Dang it, I was hoping there was a shop under there. This or that again. So I can take a curse card for a random relic or lose a little health for money. We're taking the relic because we have a lot of money. We got the pendulum. Okay. That works. These guys, huh? This is not ideal for our current situation. Or is it? Reduction gets us lots of energy to use our whole hand. Now, how do I use it becomes the question. Hit you twice. Hit you twice. Hit you hard. Give me back my Twin Strike. We're gonna take some heat here, but we threw out some fire, so I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you for the extra strength, you fools. It's time for you to start dying. Bully. Okay, sure. Whack. Whack. There we go. Yes! Ornamental Fan. Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 4 block. I mean, Bully is a free attack, so you know what? Sure, give me that. Yeah, the mites again, huh? Okay. 28 damage with a Mind Blast. Shrug it off first. That'll transfer more cards, okay. Iron Wave. Mind Blast. Fortunately, I didn't quite make Stomp free, which is what I was trying to do. Because I miscounted. Which is nothing but normal, really, around here. This will make me take less damage, so we'll get rid of these Toxics. Unrelenting to knock you down. Shrug it off. Okay. I was hoping for an AoE so I could hit both of them. It's both on Infernal Blades. Unrelenting to make Twin Strike free. Juggernaut because I can afford it. Headbutt to give me back Unrelenting. And Body Slam because I can. Ooh, Eternal Armor. Sure, he's not attacking this turn. So we can just generate infinite free damage. Because we can also play it up a second time. Though it doesn't matter, he's dead, so... Ooh, fruit juice for extra max health? Sure, just chug that right now. Taunt's actually gonna be good for us. Because it makes the target vulnerable and gives us some more block. Our health's fine, I think. Too vulnerable? Nah. Sure, 2 random colorless cards, why not? Time for Big Crab. I've not had this fight too often, but it's a neat one, because you have 2 opponents for this boss fight, and it actually matters which way you're facing. They both do double damage when they hit you from behind. So we're gonna go ahead and nuke the damage that one deals. You'll notice now he's only doing 3 because he's not hitting me in the back anymore. Is whichever one you use a card on, you turn to face them. So you have to make sure to stop on the one you're worried about, basically. Otherwise, you're gonna just shoot yourself in the foot. So let's see. We grapple that one. But taunt this one, so that we hit him with the grapple, but don't face away from the one I'm afraid of. And there we go. Snip, snip, hooray. Okay, we wheel around to fight this one now, because he's doing a bigger attack. Actually, let's go ahead and put a buffer on. So I think that's gonna end up being wasted. Is the left hand swings first? Yeah. I should have thought about that more. Juggernaut. Chemokinesis. Double strike. Strike. Ideally, I think I need to kill one of the two. Oh boy. Different problem. Giant rocket fist inbound. This is going to hurt me very drastically. Oh, on the bright side, he's now sleeping, though, because he fired off completely, so... we can work that angle. This is fine. Should have used the fish oil earlier, but I'm going to use it now. So at least I have it. Okay, he grew another one back now, which is bad timing. Exhaust hand, deal 12 for each one exhausted. That's not gonna work out well for us right now. Almost strike, so I see what I get. Rage. The thing is, I can end my turn with Fiend Fire, so we can still make that work, actually. Just trying to decide what order of operations to do here, and I think Shrug It Off has to be involved. Wind Strike you. And then we actually spin around and Fiend Fire that one. I miscalculated. I thought he was gonna die to that. We're still gonna be fine, but Rocket was supposed to die. Like that. Why not? The building was an eyesore. It needed to go. He has 99 block this turn. This is upsetting. Look, what is killing a whole building if not just doing demolition, really? And demolition is a necessary thing sometimes. Primal Force is so funny. Just turn every attack in your hand into giant rocks. Yeah, we can actually use Pact's End, potentially. Because we do have a few exhausts. Okay, what do you got for me? You could give me 999 gold. No. Oh, there's the one I was talking about. Delicate Frond. At the start of each combat, fill all empty potion slots with random potions. We shall win the day with the power of alchemy. Oh, and we even got an entropic brew to get more potions. Just drink everything. Get more. Drink more. It is worth holding on to potions you like, but other than that, you can just start cycling potions up here for like mad. We can just go ham here, honestly. Case in point, we just obliterated the field without even really much question. I'm gonna drink the strength potion to make a spot for a potentially more interesting potion to appear. Lucky tonic. Now I'll pass in the hopes that I get something more interesting. Now we'll take juggling. Grave of the Forgotten. There's a single grave with a roiling blue flame. A prideful warrior died in battle, but its soul is restless. Wants to keep fighting. You feel it begging to journey with you. Perhaps it's better for it to face the truth. So we can confront it with the truth and add Decay to our deck and enchant a card that exhausts with Soul's Power, which removes exhaust, or We accept it and gain the Forgotten Soul. Whenever you exhaust a card, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. We do have some exhaust, so I'm gonna take him along. You place your hand on the grave and whisper, "Ascend with me." In response, the flames draw out from the grave and coalesce into a burning soul and hover around you loyally. It knows what you are and wishes to escort you to your final destination. Neat. Anyway, we're heading toward that shop. Oh hey, we can get foul potions to get even more money from the shop. Why not? We can buy so much with all of this. This is the most money I've had at any given time in this game. We're taking the Molten Egg. Definitely taking the Amethyst Aubergine for even more money. Definitely take the upgraded Twin Strike. Not gonna bother buying potions. Sure, I'll take the pear. Ooh, the tea set as well, sure. Yes, the reptile trinket. Every time I use a potion, I get 3 strength. Time to break everything. Time to break everything. All I needed was money, and then I won the game. I got too real for a moment there with the all I needed was money, and then I won the game. Anyway, delete him. Headbutt him. And then just stomp both of them into oblivion. Because I just throw a fire potion on you. There you go. Energy potion. Nice. Throw away the clarity extract and the strength potion in the hopes of better potions. The pommel strike for card cycling. Make juggling innate. That's fine. What's in the box? Happy flower. Okay, if a fight lasts 3 turns, I get more energy. This is fine. Can't use Pact's End, which is fine. I have enough energy to use everything in my hand, so we're just gonna use everything in my hand. It's unfortunate that we did not get anything significant in the way of blocking, but that's okay. Secret weapon gets me an attack. Out of my attacking cards... Just give me Twin Strike. Not. Sometimes it's better to keep it simple. More energy. Keep hitting him. Keep firing. Keep firing. Let's take an armaments, actually. Because we can upgrade that to upgrade the whole hand, and from what I recall. Now, this is a setup I haven't seen before. Because we fought these guys individually before, but we've never seen 2 Cubexes and a Punch Construct together before. That's different. I don't like it. Sure, impervious for free. I have 30 block, and it's not gonna matter because they're not attacking this turn, but it's funny to have done it. Now this does 45, so we'll kill you with it. You die to that. And 2 out of 3 are gone in 1 turn. Pommel Strike. Setup Strike. Pommel Strike. Pommel Strike. Don't even need to use my blade. Just gonna hit it with the pommel until it stops moving. What I need is to get the Hellraiser power now so that I can just keep using all those strikes automatically. His Twin Strike counts, Pommel Strike counts. It's disgusting. Yeah, upgrade all cards in hand. There we go. Oh, the fucking bridge. Sure, I'll lose one of my many Pommel Strikes. That's fine. Because you're guaranteed to lose a card there. So you basically just lose health until you get one you're willing to lose. I don't have enough money to be wanting to go to the shop too badly there. Oh, it's you 3 clowns, huh? Okay, this is fine. Start juggling. Next attack you play is triple damage. The first, Potion of Binding. Stable Serum. Gigantification! 130... Oh no, 198 damage. So, hey, Spectre Knight. Die. Again. That, I think, is the highest single damage attack I've done in this game so far. And grapple you. And focus my attacks on the other one. Because the grapple deals damage to him for free, so it's like I can just split it up just fine there. Grapple him again. Battle Trance. Knock you on the head. And then make you dead. Grab the pillow off the bodies. Another Thunderclap. The Doormaster has been a constant thorn in my side, though, so seeing him as the boss here is a little concerning. Make Mind Blast free, yes please. We just start every fight with free damage. So, Rage, Juggle, Mind Blast, Fire Potion, Weak Potion, and we'll save the Duplicator for this upcoming round. Or not, because this hand is actually kind of meh. Actually, there we go. Duplicating Stone Armor will be great for us. Because now we have 12 plating, which will protect us round by round quite nicely. Armament the whole hand. Shrug it off. Bully. Attack. Yeah, because we're taking very little damage, but you'll notice it's taking a lot just to get through this door. And that's not even the boss. Spoilers. It's all a lie. There's the actual boss, the door maker. Doesn't approve of our nonsense in the slightest. Ooh, can't gain block from cards for 2 turns from Panic Button. I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. Iron Wave again. Wind Strike. Yeah, we will only take 1 there, so that's fine. We don't need the Panic Button there. Rage! Thunderclap. I should have grappled right after raging. You know what? Actually, we'll Juggernaut. And then we'll shrug it off. This way we don't take too much damage either. And now he's hiding behind another door. This is why fighting this guy sucks. Because you have to chew through the door, then you get a turn to hit him, then he hides behind another door, and they all do piles of damage. So we might still lose here, just because this fight is annoying. This is one of my least favorite fights in this game so far. Because it's just kind of, Because this is, like, the best fight to grind a run to a halt. And that's why I don't like it. That's still going to be a lot of damage. I hate the idea, but I'm going to Panic Button here. 1 turn of that's going to be fine, because it's going to be this turn, and then he should be stunned for the next one. So it'll work out fine. Raid the whole hand. I can use Pact's End now, so we'll do that for free to bring the Doormaster out. We've done a lot more damage to him now, but not enough for me to be happy. No, taunt him first, so he's vulnerable again, then Pommel Strike. These are all just basic bitch strikes. Yeah, this is the problem, is he just starts chewing through my health. And then he's gonna hide behind another fucking door because he's an asshole. Like, he just has such an asinine amount of health because of hiding behind all these doors. Like, if there's any fight in this game that's a DPS check, it's him. And I didn't pass. Well, let me correct that. It is one of two things. It's either an annoying DPS check or an endurance fight. Those are your two choices with the Doormaker. And I don't think I've managed to beat him. Every time I've rolled that fight, I've lost. Because my setups just do not go well against the Doormaker. That's just the way it is. But I think we are going to wrap up here, because I said it was only going to be one more run, and that did go for most of the hour. So I think that's as good as it'll get. I'm going to take a quick scan through my list, but this might be a no-raid day, so I can shift focus to trying to get as much other work as possible done. Unless there's a, like, I absolutely want to go here option in front of me. And the answer to that question is, there are some good people on, but nothing that's like, I will absolutely go there, there's no questions. You're just in time for me to be heading out there, Natra, but hopefully all is well, everyone. So, as I said, we are wrapping up for the day. We will be back on Monday with a version of Final Fantasy II. That's one of the things I'm going to be working on tonight with the extra time of wrapping up where we are. There's that 50% off discount for all commissions. Again, remember that ends at the end of the month, so you only have 10 days left to chime in on that if you have any work you want done. And that applies even to things that aren't listed services. So if you have something you need that isn't listed there, feel free to message me wherever and we'll figure something out. And I'll just apply the 50% off myself to that. But yeah, Monday, Final Fantasy II starts. Tuesday, Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition continues. Thursday, we got a Lethal Company lobby coming together. That's another of the things that I'm going to be working on today specifically, is making sure to have a decent amount of people for that, since the idea only came about a bit late in the week, and then I didn't remember to set anything in motion for that on Thursday because I was focused on the Battle Golf lobby. Then Friday, obviously, is Terraria continuing, and then next Saturday is a question mark. We'll figure it out. But thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. Hopefully you all have a good night, and I will see you Monday. Goodbye.